Bloomberg's Lucas Shaw about a range of topics, including how he feels about accolades like awards.
Making movies is incredibly hard. It's incredibly difficult. I've been blessed to have the opportunity to do this. I come from Oakland, California. You know what I mean? Like nobody in my family was in the business. You know, so, and I think it's one of the most incredible jobs in the world to have. So I feel blessed. I feel like I won an award every day I step on set.
With all those nominations, Coogler is almost certain to take home some tangible awards for his work on Sinners. Among his nominations is up for Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Lead Actor for Michael B. Jordan, who starred in a dual role. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner. I'm the Black Business Beat.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
He steps to the mic with a boom, ping, ping. Wisdom sharper than a beast's fierce sting. Words like fireflies that light the night. He turns the dark into blazing bright. Boom, ping, ping, the truth takes wing. Milwaukee's voice, let the city sing. Boom, ping, ping, hear the freedom ring. Sherwin's the king, all the airwaves king. Shake the ground, unveils the truth where lies abound. Politics, justice, social streams. He molds the chaos into dreams. No silence here, just the sound of change. Boom, ping, ping, rearrange. Boom, ping, ping, the truth takes wing. Milwaukee's voice, let the city sing. Boom, ping, ping, hear the freedom ring. Sherwin's the king, all the airwaves king. Through the static, through the noise, he amplifies the people's voice. Boom, ping, ping, like a heartbeat's call. He's got the wisdom to break down walls. Yeah. Da, 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 da.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. Today is Tuesday, January 27th, 2026. There's a prevailing question that I'm hearing pretty much everywhere. I'm looking at the social media feeds because boy, oh boy, that's where all the hot information is. People giving their thoughts and opinions and feelings on the politics of the day. So in the last probably 24 hours, I have seen many posts, anecdotal stories. Some things even seem realistic because they're coming from credible people saying, oh no, ICE is in Milwaukee and they have rented 100 hotel rooms at the Hilton. Ladies and gentlemen, all of that is lies. And first of all, how in the hell would you know exactly how many rooms that ICE has rented at the Hilton Milwaukee? Not true. And I don't know why people are doing it. Maybe they're doing it because they want folks to be hypervigilant. Maybe they're doing it because they want attention. But it is not true. So there's going to be some reshuffling. Some of you have seen that Greg Bovino, who was head of ICE operations, I don't know, somewhere. He was in the middle of the desert in California. Then they moved him to Chicago, where he conveniently took a photograph wearing a Nazi trench coat. And then they moved Greg Bovino to Minnesota. Well, he has now been reassigned to the middle of the desert, back to El Centro, California, where he's going to be doing what he should be doing, sitting there at the border and chasing people down through the sand. So he has been demoted. ICE is being reshuffled, and during this reshuffle, and especially on the heels of a government shutdown, where the main reason for the upcoming government shutdown will be, and I really hope, that Democrats refuse, and some Republicans refuse to fund immigration and customs enforcement that will allow them to overwhelm local police departments. One of the first issues that we all as Americans should be concerned about, there is no way that a federal law enforcement agency should have 5 times the number of officers on the streets than local municipal police. Minneapolis has a police force of 600 people. There are 3,000 ICE agents there. Let's just say that's overkill. I mean overkill, literally. And so to think that there's going to be a reassignment of ICE agents in some mass number here in the city of Milwaukee while the reshuffling is going on is highly unlikely. So you're probably going to see a bunch of rumors and a bunch of people posting. And I'm reading some of the things last night, and people were getting into these elaborate stories of ICE pulled over my uncle on 51st in Lisbon, and then they punched him, and then they kicked him, and they put him in a car, and they drove him somewhere. Like, shut up. That didn't even happen. Your uncle might have got pulled over by the Milwaukee police because he was driving recklessly, smoking a blunt, and had a gun hanging out the car. Maybe that's what it was. But let's not pay attention to some of these rumors. And I know it's tough and everybody is really anxious and people are very tense. Let's just hope that what we saw in first Chicago, or prior to that Los Angeles, then Chicago, and then Minneapolis, we got to hope it doesn't come here, because I don't know how Milwaukee folks would handle it. And so there's been a question that has been just circling and swirling, and I'm going to try and answer it to the best of my ability. And, of course, I would love for you all to chime in and give your thoughts and feelings and opinions on the issue of the day. What should we do? Like, what are we supposed to do? As regular old people and citizens, like, we still have to go to work. We still have our responsibilities. We still have our day-to-day lives. How should we be diverting ourselves from our routines of day-to-day life? And we got to keep some level of normalcy now. If you have a routine, you need to keep it. But at the same time, I understand people's political anxieties because of what's going on. It also makes people very ripe and vulnerable for manipulation when you see things on social media saying that ICE is coming to Milwaukee. First of all, I think that they're already here. The council last year put together an ordinance, I believe, that was trying to block ICE from using a facility out on like 107th and Good Hope Road. I don't know if they were able to see any success with that Common Council ordinance, because something people really need to know and understand is that Immigration and Customs Enforcement and the Department of Homeland Security is a federal agency, and they have jurisdiction everywhere in our neighborhoods, on our highways, on our streets, unfortunately, in our houses, in our vehicles, and on our persons. So their jurisdiction is essentially everywhere. So there is no city or county ordinance that can prevent them from doing anything. But I do want to try and answer the question, what should we do here in Milwaukee? Like, what's our responsibility in all of this? And I can tell you the cliched things. You got to register and vote. Is anybody doing that? I'm wondering, because I know that there's been a number of protests. I just received something last night. They're doing a big, serious one on January 30th, if you're so inclined. What day of the week is January 30th? Monday? Friday. Oh, that's this Friday. So if you are, I guess, mad about stuff and you want to do a big old protest, on Friday, you don't go to work, you don't go to school, and you don't buy anything. That's the latest protest. I'm coming to work. Sorry, guys. I mean, I want to be supportive of the movement, but at the same time, I can't, nor do I want to, divert my attention away from the situations and issues that we have here in the city of Milwaukee, because I live here, and I want Milwaukee to be a much better place. Obviously, I'm concerned about education. That is my primary focus because I want to live in a community that is safe. And what I have found is that communities that have educated people, that have skills, that can go out and sell their skills in the workforce, and they have a job, and they have gainful employment, and maybe, God forbid, they become homeowners. Hey, blacks, why are you allergic to owning a house? Don't worry, we're going to talk about it. In fact, my esteemed Hour One producer, her name is Rhea Riley. She and I go way back, in case you didn't know. She's in charge of the YouTubes, and so I made a request of her to put a poll up on the YouTube. My polls are very simple because I'm trying to get to know you. I want to know how you guys answer questions because it helps guide me and my content and what I should talk about and how I should talk about it. I just want to know something real simple. Do you own or rent your home? I'm not judging anybody. Sherwin used to rent. I rented a lot. When I was in college, I rented. I rented in Milwaukee, of course, when I came home from college. I did a little bit of renting, but then I did some home ownership. I'm just trying to see, because people have a lot to say about Joe Barata, and we're going to talk about him because apparently Milwaukee alders are fed up, and they're going to crack down on Joe Barata. So because that was such a hot topic over the weekend via my social medias and also yesterday, you guys had a lot to say about Joe Barata and his dilapidated properties. And I'm not saying that they aren't. And some of the properties, there's no heat. And I'm not sure if you guys have noticed. Some of you haven't, because I've seen people wearing shorts. I went to the Bucks game on Friday night. It was a guy there wearing shorts. Why do you people do that? Why? What are you trying to prove? Like, what's... Do you have tiger blood or something? Like, what kind of blood is in your body where you can wear shorts? And it was cold Friday night. It was so cold Friday night that, you know, when you walk outside and you immediately start using four-letter words, you just start using profanity. It was that kind of cold on Friday night. And so if your heat is not working, that is totally unacceptable. So the city is getting fed up. I think it's my alderwoman. Her name is Charlene Moore. I saw a little bit of her press conference where she was being very stern and saying that she wants to crack down on, and the city should crack down on these terrible landlords. I'm not sure if she mentioned Joe Barata by name, but that's probably who she was talking about. And I think that is good, and we need to be focused on such things. So to answer the larger question of, like, what do we do? We have all this Trump stuff going on, and I think Kristi Noem is on her way out as well, and Greg Bovino, he has been reassigned, and Tom Homan is now in Minnesota. And then you have the rumors that, oh no, ICE is staying at the Hilton. What do we do here in Milwaukee? Stay vigilant and stay focused on the issues right here in our city, because if we, the people that live in this town, that either own homes or rent in this town, the people that work in this town, the people that come to this city for their fun, to go to bars and clubs and restaurants and lounges and the Bucks games, if we divert our effort and our attention away from the issues and problems we're trying to solve in Milwaukee, they will get worse. Because here's what I'm always concerned about. Now, it seems very far away because the temperatures have been less than pleasant, and I swear it has been snowing every single day. I'm sick of the snow. It snowed 3 times all last winter. Snowed 3 times this week. I'm sick of it. How do I file a complaint? But it seems a long way off, but the summer, believe it or not, will be here before you know it. And you know that we deal with major increases in violent crime in the summer. And so, yes, we can be supportive and helpful to whatever degree for those that are protesting and angry about how immigration and customs enforcement is being executed. But we cannot take our eye off the ball here in Milwaukee, because I want a safe summer. I want a safe summer for a variety of reasons. I really like when there's no violence going on in the summer because local news has nothing to talk about. You ever notice that? When we're not shooting and killing each other, local news talks about you can go to Humane Society and adopt a puppy. There's a new coffee shop opening up in Bayview. You know, when you see local news stories on our major news networks here in the city of Milwaukee, when they're talking about puppies and coffee shops, that means the blacks aren't killing each other. Let's have more coffee shop openings and puppy adoption news stories on local media here. So I'm going to take a break, going to come back. I got a few stories here. Milwaukee is actually getting tough on crime. I know you guys like that. Going to punish the criminals here locally. They are now towing reckless drivers, so be careful of that. There's a story I've been putting off because there's been so many other things that have taken precedent. But I do want to share that one with you, that the city of Milwaukee is towing roughly one car a day because you guys are driving like a bunch of idiots. And then, of course, we're going to get to the Milwaukee Alders are fed up with these terrible landlords. The first landlord that the city needs to take corrective action with is the city itself, because you know those city-owned, city-managed properties with the housing authority of the city of Milwaukee, those are just as bad, if not worse, than Joe Barata properties, and those are owned by the city. So it makes you wonder. I'm going to take myself into my first commercial break, but by having you wonder, if the city can't hold itself responsible and accountable for the property it owns, how in the hell is it going to hold Joe Barata responsible? We shall discuss these things and many other things on the other side. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back shortly.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Breaking down the issues that shape our city and our future.
Another function of white supremacy, don't teach black people stuff, because if you give us a little bit of knowledge, we'll invent something totally new. That's why it was illegal to teach slaves to read, because if we could read, then we could write. And if we could write, we could communicate. And if we could communicate, we could plan. And if we could plan, we could strategize. And if we can plan and write and read and communicate and strategize, we could overthrow white supremacy, because they've always known how fragile it is.
It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, weekdays from 9 to noon.
Wisconsin winters can be tough, and so are higher energy bills. The Community Advocates Milwaukee County Energy Assistance Program is ready to help you. Eligible Milwaukee County residents can receive help with their energy bills and weatherization benefits to keep you warm and help you manage your heating and electric bills. Schedule your personal appointment at keepwarmmke.org or call 414-270-4653. For more details about locations and hours of operation, go to communityadvocates.net. This program is administered by the State of Wisconsin Department of Administration.
It starts with a spark. At Milwaukee College Prep, they nurture that spark from age 3 through 8th grade, building scholars with knowledge, character, and confidence. 88% of their students face economic hardship, but that does not define them. At MCP, they see students' potential, and they help them live up to that potential. 4 campuses, 1 mission, college and beyond. MCP is free, high-performing, and open to all Milwaukee families. Visit MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com to enroll or get involved. That's MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
It's gonna be different. I ever fall in love again, a big friend. Yeah. I like them cool and kinda cocky, not too much to make them move. And try to lock you, try to take away the jewels. You cannot stop it, gotta understand the rules. I've been the type to wear the heart on my sleeve. Been the one to always choose the wrong play. Like the type to ever see me lonely. I keep my socks on during loving. In and out, baby, in and out, can't play.
As the Trump administration's immigration crackdown in nearby Minnesota continues, unverified rumors of federal agents are moving into Wisconsin have proliferated on the social medias. Local political and community leaders said there is zero evidence as of yet that this is true. Quote, "We have no solid indication ICE is about to surge into the city," Jeff Fleming, spokesperson for the mayor, said. "Every week we hear rumors about some inevitable deployment, but none of those rumors have come to fruition. So for those of you that are concerned, and I get it, I'm also trying to figure out, as a black person who's a citizen, but I'm also concerned that an ICE agent, it's not like top of mind for me, but it would suck if I got pulled over. Because I don't know how I could be more American. I'm black. I have no accent. I drive an American car. Like, what? Where am I from? You know what's crazy? So I'm an American citizen because I'm born here, and I think we still have birthright citizenship. I'm pretty sure they didn't take that one off the books. So not only do I have birthright citizenship, I was born in Milwaukee at a hospital called St. Michael's. St. Michael's isn't there anymore. It's torn down. They put housing there. So I was born at St. Michael's, which is right on we used to be on like 20th and Titonia. Okay, that's where I was born. So I'm an American citizen, and I've never even been out of the country. I've never even left America. I haven't even been to Mexico. I haven't even been to the Bahamas. I haven't even been to Jamaica, where a lot of women go on girls' trips so they can cheat on their husbands. I've never been there before. I've never even been out of the country. And I've said that I was going to just, mind my own business and just live my life. But now I'm starting to see people saying, well, I'm just going to carry my passport around just to make sure. I don't want to have to live in a country like that, to where an American citizen like me has got to carry my passport around because of a ICE person. I don't even want to think about that kind of stuff because it's ridiculous. And also, if they pull me over, I'm going to be at a crossroads because I'm not going to want to cooperate because I almost said the F word, because screw them. You have no warrant. You have no probable cause. You can't just pull me out of my vehicle. So I don't think I would be very cooperative, but then you also see what happens if you're not very cooperative. And I think it's pride reducing, especially when you haven't done anything wrong and you're an American citizen. Now, I know that black people are supposed to be used to this. I'm not. I'm not used to it. So we need to be vigilant too, obviously. But also, I want us as a community to be helpful and to be supportive to all of the people who are facing deportation, because they have like this little thing that they do. I don't know if you guys have noticed what ICE does, because they may really want the dad or an adult. Let's say there's a person that's not here legally and lawfully, and I would say they're a violent criminal, but they haven't really been apprehending very many violent criminals. So what they'll do is they'll apprehend a child. Because recently they just apprehended a 5-year-old child. That was one that made the news, but I think it happens a lot more frequently than we may be made aware. So what they'll do is they'll apprehend a child, and they'll take a child into custody. And then when the parent that they actually want to deport comes looking for their child, then they grab the parent. It's so deceptive. So there are rumors floating around that ICE is here in Milwaukee and they rented 100 hotel rooms at the Hilton. First of all, it doesn't even sound realistic, because how in the hell would we know how many hotel rooms they rented? So if you see some of these postings, don't pay attention to them. But I know that it's very alarming for some folks, because some people, if you get apprehended by these folks, it could be the end of your life, or at least the end of your life as you know it, because you will be taken from this country. Here's what I think we should pay attention to if we are concerned about immigration and customs enforcement coming to Milwaukee. Trump always announces it. He announces it long before the agents even arrive. He'll do a press conference, or they'll catch him on Air Force One, the White House press book. We're going to send them into Milwaukee in 3 weeks. In 3 weeks, Milwaukee is going to be very different. It's going to be a very different Milwaukee. There's a lot of illegals in Milwaukee. Milwaukee is very illegal. So he always announces the cities in which he plans to put a surge, and so will Kristi Noem. I would be a much better Department of Homeland Security secretary than her. However, my lips are not quite as plastic. Because if you're going for looks, I don't know. She might have the job based on looks, but I think I could do a much better job of executing that cabinet level position. So let's not worry, everybody. As the Trump administration's immigration crackdown in nearby Minnesota continues, unverified rumors that federal agents are moving into Wisconsin have proliferated on the social media. Local political and community leaders said there is no evidence as of yet that this is true. Quote, "We have no solid indication ICE is about to surge into the city. Jeff Fleming, spokesman for the mayor, told the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel yesterday, every week we hear rumors about some inevitable deployment, but none of those rumors have come to fruition. And I'm going to go out on a limb here. Since our police chief, you know him, his name is Jeffrey Norman. For all intents and purposes, he's a great fella. He's a nice guy. Now, when I talk about him objectively because he's got a very important job in the city of Milwaukee. So if there are ways in which we can find fault with him professionally, I have an obligation to let you know, regardless of how I feel about him as a fella. He's a great fella, but sometimes he does stuff that old Sherwin doesn't agree with. We recently found out that he went on a junket to Israel where he, 2 sheriffs, and then the chief of police from Albany, New York, and Nashville, Tennessee, were selected to go to Israel to be trained on counterterrorism by the Israeli Special Forces. Because the FBI provided the grant for our police chief to go to Israel, and I think you guys are aware of the cozy relationship between Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu, I think because our Milwaukee police chief was cooperative with the Trump administration and with Kash Patel, and that our police chief went to Israel, I think that that trade-off shows cooperation between the city of Milwaukee and the Trump administration, and I don't think that ICE is going to come here because all the president wants is cooperation. And if you cooperate with him, or if you're a sycophant, or if you give him praise, he leaves you alone. Now, that may sound pride-reducing to give this president praise and to pretend, maybe it's not pretend, that you are a supporter of his, but it's also a way in which you can manipulate him. I'm not sure if you all have ever had any major interactions with narcissists. Well, I take that back because nowadays every single woman that's ever dated a man, he was always a narcissist. But a way in which you can manipulate a narcissist is you agree with them on how great they are. You tell them that they don't do anything wrong and that they're perfect and they have the best ideas and they're the smartest and they have the biggest brains. You keep telling them that. You can lead them anywhere as long as you continue to tell them what they already think about themselves, even if it is not true, because you can't be honest with a narcissist. They live in a lie, so you have to live in the lie with them, you see, in order to manipulate them. So I think we have shown just enough cooperation to where I don't think there's going to be any major influx of ICE in the city of Milwaukee. And also, where's the funding going to come from? Because if we do, in fact, have this government shutdown now about 72 hours away, then the funding to expand and extend ICE into other cities simply may not be there. Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley said on January 26th that he's spoken with staff at the Milwaukee Police Department and the county sheriff's office, and neither agency has heard anything from any federal agency up until this point about major enforcement operations in the city. Meanwhile, local immigrants' rights groups that work to confirm ICE arrests are asking people to pause before sharing rumors online and to realize the chatter adds to fear in immigrant communities. And I think some of the rumors that are being shared, because I'm reading some of the comments, which you never should do, because I don't know if the comments are actual people or if they are artificial intelligence bots. But man, I read some of the comments and I tell myself, I got to tell myself, don't respond, Sherwin. Don't do it, Sherwin. Sherwin, don't respond. It's only going to be trouble. Don't hit reply. Don't do it. Don't do it. And then I hit reply. But I think some of the rumors are being spread intentionally to scare people that may not be in this country legally and or lawfully. Legally and or lawfully, the Trump perspective of legal and lawfully, meaning if you are from a Latin American country and you have like a work permit to be in this country and you are still within the permissible dates of your work permit, to the Trump administration, you're here illegally. However, you can be from like Norway, Finland, and Sweden, and your visa expired in 1965. They'll still let you stay here because, you know, you're from one of those good countries. So let's kind of cool the rumors down a little bit. We'll relax. If there is an ICE surge in the city of Milwaukee, we'll know because Trump will announce it. Kristi Noem will announce it, and there'll be other ways in which that credible information will be communicated to us. But let's not panic just yet. I'm going to take a break, come back. Let's bring it back to Milwaukee-focused stuff. Because remember when reckless driving was the biggest issue that we had? People were driving recklessly, driving on the sidewalks, running the red lights, rolling those stop signs, all the reckless driving. Well, there was a state law passed, and I believe a corresponding city ordinance that allows police officers to tow vehicles for a first-time reckless driving offense. And that has been in effect for the last couple of weeks. So let's talk about that on the other side. If you have a question or a comment, you want love advice, the number's the same. Questions about ICE, wanting to know what's going on in the city of Milwaukee, and how to make your marriage better. 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. He's the voice for the people and the community's connection to change.
Regroup, rethink, and reshape, and get on the front lines. It's only to your benefit. I always tell people, you helping the overall ideal of a better community, it actually helps you out. It helps you out. It helps your family out. It's time. Do not bring that reactionary attitude into the new year. This is the best time to start fresh. This is the plot. They plot this out, and it's been going on for years. This is normal. This is the way it is. This is where we are right now. It's all buddy-buddy. And if you're not a part of the friend situation, you're not getting in. They don't want nobody getting in and seeing where the messy. That's why I'll never get in. Because they know I'm not going to play around about my community. They know I'm not going to sit in no meetings and see y'all shucking and jiving and sniggling and giggling and not say nothing about it. I'm going to tell you to shut up.
The Tory Lowe Show, weekdays from 1 to 4 p.m. Live on YouTube and right here on 1017 The Truth.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
And so did you.
When you raised your hand and swore an oath to your country, when you put your name on a dotted line,
don't wait. Reach out.
Reach out to a loved one, to a fellow veteran, to VA.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
A long sought-after state law change has led to limited use, but officials are happy the policy option exists. In late 2025, the state of Wisconsin gave cities the ability to impound any vehicle when a driver was caught operating recklessly. So it was a few months ago. And I remember when there was conversation about this state law taking effect because Governor Evers signed it. I'm not sure when he signed it. But there were a couple of press releases and a few local news stories about this new law, almost like as a warning to would-be reckless drivers, like, hey, if you're driving X amount of miles over the speed limit or whatever is considered reckless driving. I think it's kind of a loose definition of reckless driving because it can also vary by road conditions. It's like this warning in some of these local news stories that, they're going to be impounding cars. And so I've created an idea from that because a lot of those vehicles that are going to get impounded, not all of them, but a lot of them will likely never be returned to the owner or to the person that was operating it. So if you are driving a vehicle that is uninsured, you're going to have to, and they're going to tow it, they're going to impound it. You're going to get whatever fines, whatever fees, whatever tickets that you're going to have to pay. And then you're going to have to pay this really exorbitant storage fee, because it's very unlikely that your vehicle gets impounded and you go and get it that day. It might be a couple of days. And the storage fee, I've heard all sorts of prices for the storage fees if your vehicle gets towed to the tow lot. Have you guys ever been to the tow lot? Whew. I don't know what's worse. I shouldn't say worse. The people watching at the tow lot is similar to State Fair, but with a few less mullets. Just a few. There's mullets at the State Fair. I think that there's an admission discount. If you have you ever seen a black person with a mullet? Bring back the black mullet. So you have to pay the storage fee, which $50, $100, $150 a day. So you got to pay your tickets, whatever your reckless driving tickets are. If you have other tickets, you have to pay those too. You got to pay your reckless driving ticket. You got to pay the storage fee, and you're going to have to show proof of insurance. You all would be shocked by the number of people that are operating motor vehicles right here in this city without insurance. And I used to be against mandatory car insurance. Now I'm for it, because I don't want my car to get hit by someone without insurance, because you're going to have to fix my car. And it's sad if you don't have insurance, because I'm going to sue you. And if you don't have money to fix my car, I might have to take one of your kids. Well, what do you want me to do? I got to get something. You crashed into my vehicle, and I don't want to have to take one of your children. I really don't. So because I think there will likely be, at the end of the year, there's going to be an overabundance of vehicles that were confiscated with this new reckless driving law. And I'm going to get into the details of the vehicles getting towed in just a second. The idea that I came up with is there would be an organization that would purchase these vehicles, because the city is only going to keep an unclaimed vehicle for so long, and then it goes to auction. I know that you all are very much into the trades for young black men. You guys know that I have kind of a complicated view on us funneling black men into the trades just kind of randomly. First of all, let's not disrespect the trades, because y'all dismiss it like it's easy work. That work is hard. There's lots of math. There's lots of science, and you got to be good, and you can't make mistakes. If you funnel a child into go be a carpenter, Leroy. Little Leroy. Leroy's got a little afro. He's a little black child. But if Leroy doesn't know an 1/8 inch from a 1/4 inch, whatever Leroy builds with him being a carpenter is going to fall down. So let's not dismiss the trades as like this everyday option that people can take advantage of. We will quickly find out that the poor math scores that we have coming out of MPS does not make it easy for someone to get in the trades, because you know what the trades are? It doesn't even matter which one it is. It can be the plumbing. It can be the HVAC. It can be the welding. It can be the electricity. All of it is math, high-level math. And if you screw that math up, you're going to die. Some of y'all can't even count carbs, let alone volts and amps. So let me just stop with my complicated views on the trades. But here's what I was thinking. There's going to be a number of vehicles that will be towed because of this reckless driving ordinance where the police can now tow vehicles. They're going to stack up at the tow lot, and instead of those vehicles just going to auction, we would have an organization that would purchase those vehicles instead of them going to auction, and then we would have a program in which we have vehicles and we can teach young people how to do basic repairs and maintenance on those cars. I think that would be fantastic, because that is a kind of trade that we are still going to need for the foreseeable future, and it is, at least as of right now, AI proof. AI might be able to diagnose what is wrong with a vehicle and suggest parts and repairs and how much the labor is going to cost, but it still is going to take a human being knowing how to wrench on those cars. And I think that is something that used to exist. I remember we had auto shop when I was at Brown Deer, and I graduated in 1993. I am not sure how many high schools, and Brown Deer wasn't even a trade school, but we had auto shop and we had draft, and we still had offerings for people that wanted to get into the trades up through the 1990s at Brown Deer High School. So I think that would be a fantastic idea, because we're going to get an influx of vehicles that are never going to get picked up again. So it was just a thought, because we're all driving vehicles, because Milwaukee is not, I wish it was, a public transportation city. we can't grow as a region economically. And there's reasons why we have not invested in rail, light rail, commuter rail, high-speed rail. We had the money almost 40 years ago to begin, and had we begun then, we would be really advanced right now. And this region would be, in my opinion, a larger, more successful metro region than Chicagoland and the greater Minneapolis area, because you have so many counties where there's so much opportunity and so much income in like the 6 or 7 county areas surrounding Milwaukee, except for Racine. For those of you that might be new to listening to my show, I just have this vendetta against Racine. I don't even know why it exists. And I've been trying to sell Racine to Illinois for many, many years, but for some reason, Illinois doesn't want to buy it. Because all Racine is a chunk of land that makes my drive to Chicago longer. You know what I mean? Other than Benjamin, I don't think anything is... Okay, who comes from Racine? What does Racine even do? What do they even make there? Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm from Racine.
Oh, Rhea.
Me and Ben.
Oh, no.
How about that?
But you don't live in Racine now. You're a Milwaukeean.
My parents live there, go there a lot.
Well, you better tell them to get out before I sell their county and they become Chicagoans. You know what? That's right. You are from Racine. But you've been in Milwaukee for many years. Yeah? Yes, you have.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly. I'm still selling it. But if we had better public transportation options, and I'm going to go a step further. I know some of y'all are going to want to call me a democratic socialist. Public transportation should be subsidized, should be free. It doesn't need to make money. Because when you can move people from work to home to school to downtown to recreational activities and they're not spending any money for that movement, that's more money they are going to spend at their destinations. Plus, where you have rail, you're going to have stops. You can have a Starbucks at the stop. You can have a McDonald's at the stop. Side note, does anybody go to Denny's anymore? Who is keeping Denny's open? Speak your piece. Who's keeping Shake Shack open? I just drove past the Shake Shack on Saturday night, and there was 2 people in the Shake Shack. I've been to Shake Shack one time, and it was so expensive that I opted not to go back because, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Shake Shack. Well, I mean a little bit. I'm just giving my opinion on Shake Shack, but who's going to Shake Shack for a small burger that is $19.42? I don't understand that. But where you have rail, you can have economic development and economic opportunities. You can have a little dry cleaners there, because if you take the same route every day on the train, maybe from, I don't know, Waukesha. Oh, speaking of Waukesha, hey, don't let me forget, I got a Waukesha story. Waukesha I would sell to, but no one would buy it, especially now that we have our first confirmed measles case in Waukesha. So let me just go ahead and say this. Some people are going to get mad at me. But I'm used to it. All people from Waukesha are banned from coming into Milwaukee County. Just relax. Until we get the measles under control, I sound like they did back in COVID. Until we get it under control, there will be no Waukesha travel to Milwaukee. If you are currently from Waukesha and you are in Milwaukee right now, I'm going to need you to get measles tested, and I'm going to need you to quarantine until the August election and the November general election. I'm just going to need you to quarantine. I'm so scared, y'all, and I'm vaccinated for the measles. Most of you are. We will quickly find out who is not. Because there's going to be, it's probably in the next 24, 72 hours that we're going to have a measles outbreak here in the city of Milwaukee. We need that like we need a hole in our heads. I said all that to say this. Public transportation should be free and it should be subsidized, because you don't pay a tuition or a cover charge to send your child to your local public school, right? Because we subsidize it. The reason why we don't have public transportation subsidized, and I mean like interconnecting the counties from where the office parks are out in the suburbs to downtown and to points north and to points south is because there is a very strong segregation sentiment. There are some people, and they do have political power and political influence, that believe that if we connected our region with rail, whether it be commuter rail, light rail, or high-speed rail, that you would also racially integrate the region. And some of you may not understand that, some of you may not care, some of you may not believe it, but it is a real thing. And it has hampered the economic progress of this region because even in 2026, there are some folks who, and they sacrificed, to move away from and out of the city of Milwaukee because they didn't like maybe the politics of the city, or maybe they didn't like the increasing diversity, or maybe too many black people, or maybe too much crime, or maybe they married all those things together, and they left for greener pastures. Maybe they went to Ozaukee County and they moved to Saukville, or they moved to Fredonia, or maybe they moved to the Germantown, or maybe they moved to the Menominee Falls in the Waukesha County, or maybe they moved to the Elkhorn. They moved away to get away from either the politics or the crime or the people of color and diversity in Milwaukee. The last thing those people want is transportation that would connect the people that they moved away from to their communities. And also, we're hyper-competitive over jobs. If there are office parks that are being developed in, let's say, the Oak Creeks and the Franklin, sometimes people that live in those areas like the fact that there isn't consistent public transportation from the city to some of those corporate office parks in Oak Creek and Franklin because it keeps the black folks away. Some of the black folks who maybe got their cars impounded and got their cars towed because they were driving recklessly. A long sought-after state law change has led to limited use, but officials are happy the policy option exists. In late 2025, the state gave cities the ability to impound any vehicle when a driver was caught operating it recklessly. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is Sherwin Hughes from The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. And Truth Nation, you can now watch my show live on YouTube every day from 9 a.m. until noon. Yep, you can get 3 full hours of watching Sherwin doing his thing streaming live on YouTube Monday through Friday. You'll get the same insightful conversations about policy, politics, and lifestyle while also seeing my reaction to the unpredictability of our listeners. So go to YouTube right now, subscribe to 1017 The Truth, and see this wonderful smile live every day.
In a matchup fueled by speed, strength, and school pride. On Wednesday night, get ready for a city conference battle as the Bradley Tech Trojans take on the South Division Cardinals in a matchup fueled by speed, strength, and school pride. Big plays, loud crowds, and city conference bragging rights are on the line. Tip-off is set for 7 o'clock.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. My training helps me at work when I lead by example. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my community and those I care about safe from threats. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard, aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
Real talent is defined by what people can do, not where they learn to do it. So by stopping at the education section of a resume, you might throw away the perfect hire. You might miss someone who has valuable skills to offer to help your business thrive right now and in the future. Because the truth is this: Skills First Hiring helps you see talent others miss, like more than 70 million stars, skilled through alternative routes. When you let their story unfold, you gain a competitive advantage because hiring managers who start with skills are 60% more likely to find a successful hire. See the real person, complete. See what others miss. Hire skills first. Learn why it's a competitive advantage at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Think of my jeans will come back when I do my thing like king, like
2 months after the law change took effect, the Milwaukee Police Department initiated tows in 31 cases. Mayor Cavalier Johnson said the policy has been a success. Quote, that's 31 vehicles off the street. You know how Chevy, he kind of channels Obama when he talks. Well, we don't have those cars being used as weapons against fellow citizens. That's what he said in a January 8th crime stats press conference. Earlier state law changes that allowed towing only applied to certain circumstances. In 2022, the city was allowed to impound vehicles driven recklessly if they were also unregistered. A 2023 change extended that to cases where the driver owned the vehicle and had unpaid reckless driving citations. Those conditions, we found out, made the ordinance we passed somewhat useless, said Alderman Scott Spiker. Alderman Lamont Westmoreland called for the latest change in 2023, then had to wait 2 years for state lawmakers to implement it. It's a 2-ton weapon, he said in October of 2023. We should look at this the same way we look at firearms. That's a bit of a stretch. You can't ride your AR-15 to work. There's no AR-15 parking at the Bucks game. So no, you can't look at a vehicle the same way you look at a weapon. While I believe weapons have utility, you know, if you go hunting. In fact, speaking of hunting, somebody, who just said this? Reginald said, this is directed at you, Rhea. He says, hi, Miss Riley. Racine County has lots of tasty ring-necked pheasants running around. I don't knock Serene Racine. Who in the hell goes pheasant hunting? Who?
Hey, no, we had pheasants.
Not only do you have pheasants in Racine, they're tasty, the ring-necked variety. Rhea, can we look up what a ring-necked pheasant looks like and post it on the YouTube? I'm just curious. I just want to know what, because if Racine has something to offer. But for the alderman to compare, and I get it, a vehicle when driven recklessly and carelessly can be dangerous, just like a firearm when it's handled recklessly and carelessly can also be dangerous, as we saw on the streets of Minneapolis. I don't know if it's a direct comparison. There's a lot more utility to a vehicle than there is to a firearm. The Milwaukee Police Department and the mayor have repeatedly said that they were willing to use the expanded authority to tow reckless drivers. We're going to use every single tool that's available, Cavalier Johnson said on January 8th. He declared reckless driving a public safety crisis as his first act in office in 2021. Getting a vehicle back is intended to be expensive. Okay, here we go. These are some of the fees. That's why a lot of these vehicles that get towed and get impounded that were driven recklessly, they'll never be returned to the owner again. And so there's going to be this abundance of vehicles. And let's not let those vehicles all go to auction and then get resold somewhere else. What if we could use those vehicles to help train young people on how to fix cars? Because I come to find out a lot of y'all drive, and women too. I don't know why we exclude women from this. Women, y'all, because you want to act like men, learn how to change a tire. Now, ladies, some of you do know how to change a tire, and I appreciate that. But if you drive a vehicle every day, you should know some real basic stuff. You know what I mean? Like you got to keep your tire pressure inflated, and every 10 degrees the temperature goes up or down, you lose a pound of air pressure. You got to keep your tires inflated. You got to get your tires rotated. For those of you that drive gas-powered vehicles, you got to get your differential oil changed. You got to get the engine oil changed. You got to get the transmission service. You got to do the maintenance on the vehicles. It's a safety precaution as well, because ladies, if you are somewhere far away and you're on a dark country road, you know how horror movies start, and you have a flat tire, and AAA may not get there before your killer. But if you know how to change the tire, then you don't even have to worry about AAA, because AAA is going to take 4 days to get there. They're going to take many days. Oh, you have the picture of the ring-necked pheasant on the YouTube? Let me take a look. Oh, that's a beautiful bird. Why, people eat those?
I've never even seen one before. I've seen that, but I haven't seen it in Racine.
Apparently Reggie shot them all because he said they're tasty.
Well,
that's a beautiful bird. I wonder, what do they call a male pheasant? Because I know what they call a male chicken. I can't say that word on the radio. Well, I can say rooster. I can't say the other. Can I say it? No, I can't say it. What if I'm talking about a male rooster? You know, the kind of male rooster that men also have in their pants. I can't use it. Because I guess if I use the word, you wouldn't really know what rooster I'm talking about. A man's rooster or a male chicken. So that's what Racine has. So if you haven't done so already, go to youtube.com or open up your YouTube app from your smartphone or other mobile device. Search 1017 The Truth, hit subscribe, and then you'll be able to see the... And that's a male rooster because male birds are more colorful. That's how I know. Because male birds have to attract a female. It's almost like male birds wear the makeup. Rhea, you can't. Why did you just say that? Say it on the air, Rhea.
No.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back for hour 2.
He's the voice for the people and the community's connection to change.
Regroup, rethink, and reshape, and get on the front lines. It's only to your benefit. I always tell people, you helping the overall ideal of a better community, it actually helps you out. It helps you out. It helps your family out. It's time. Do not bring that reactionary attitude into the new year. This is the best time to start fresh. This is the plot. They plot this out, and it's been going on for years. This is normal. This is the way it is. This is where we are right now. It's all buddy-buddy. And if you're not a part of the friend situation, you're not getting in. They don't want nobody getting in and seeing where the messy. That's why I'll never get in. Because they know I'm not going to play around about my community. They know I'm not going to sit in no meetings and see y'all shucking and jiving and sniggling and giggling and not say nothing about it. I'm going to tell you to shut up.
The Tory Lowe Show, weekdays from 1 to 4 p.m. Live on YouTube and right here on 1017 The Truth.
People don't realize that glaucoma is one of the leading causes of blindness.
Because there are often no early symptoms, nearly half of those with glaucoma may not even know they have it until vision loss has occurred.
I was diagnosed with normal tension glaucoma in July of 2020. And what we found out at that point was I had already lost 40% of my sight. And you think it only affects people that are, 75 or older, retired, grandparents, and that's not the reality of it.
I didn't think at all glaucoma was going to affect me because I didn't know of anyone that had glaucoma, no one in my family. When you have glaucoma, you can't get back that sight that you lost. And so early detection and treatment is vitally, vitally important.
Don't miss life's most beautiful moments. Schedule an eye exam today.
National Glaucoma Research, a Bright Focus Foundation program, offers free resources and tips for healthy vision.
Learn how to protect your sight at stopglaucoma.org.
I take care of the kids, and I take care of my dad. I take care of things at work. The groceries, the cleanups, the meltdowns, the doctor's visits, the family events, mealtimes, bedtimes. I take care of all the things everyone else needs. But I haven't made time to take care of what I need.
Family caregivers are often overloaded. It can feel overwhelming and exhausting. It's no surprise that millions of caregivers experience symptoms of anxiety and depression every year. But help is available because there may only be one you, but you don't have to do it alone. Head to mentalhealthcareworks.org. That's mentalhealthcareworks.org to learn how to get the support you deserve. Because mental health care works when you make the call. If you're experiencing a mental health crisis or thoughts of suicide, dial 988. A message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
Get the truth and nothing but the truth with Sherwin Hughes every weekday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. on 1017 FM, 1510 a.m. WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Met her on a Tuesday night, boots tapping the wooden floor. Her seen before. She had whiskey on her lips, a danger in her smile. Whiskey on her lips.
Welcome to Hour 2 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Milwaukee aldermen are advocating for tougher penalties on negligent landlords after a 36-unit apartment building in North 28th Street and Wisconsin Avenue was evacuated due to a lack of heat and water owned by Barada Properties Management. City inspectors evacuated the building on Thursday after discovering the absence of essential services. All right, so if you own a home and your heat goes out, I know there's probably like emergency HVAC repair, but you may not have heat for a period of time. So what I'm thinking, and I don't know the details of the ordinance or what the ordinance looks like, or even if the ordinance exists of how they're going to hold landlords accountable. If there's a complaint that heat is out, you have to give the landlord a certain amount of time to fix it. If somebody wakes up in the morning and it's 50 degrees in their apartment, and they go to work, assuming they have a job, we can't expect the heat to be back on by the time they get home from work, because especially when there's high demand because of the cold that we have had, HVAC repair may take some time. So I think it would be reasonable to give landlords, whether they're big or small, and there is the other problem, though, is they're making these ordinances to target Barada, who, if the building is too much of an issue, he'll just liquidate it. He'll just sell it. He's not obligated to make any of these repairs, because if he no longer owns it, then it's no longer his responsibility. It will be the responsibility of the new owner. And he probably can liquidate some of his more problematic properties very, very quickly. So let's be cautious of that. But also, I don't know if there's an ordinance that you can make that just goes after one person, because then Joe Barada could sue the city under an equal protection clause saying, hey, the city of Milwaukee is going after me specifically and targeting me specifically. And if that goes to a federal court, Joe Barada would win, because I don't know if you guys know this thing about the city of Milwaukee. We get our asses kicked in court all the time. If the city of Milwaukee gets sued, we settle. We fold like a wet napkin. Whenever you file suit against the city attorneys say, maybe we should talk about settling. We should just settle. No, we had a complicated conversation yesterday. Talked about renting versus owning a home. And it stemmed from a social media post that I didn't think was controversial. If you don't like your current situation, and your current situation could be anything, it could be your job. Get a different job. It could be your significant other, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your they, them. No judgment. You can have a they, them. Your spouse, get a new they, them. Get a new spouse, get a new fiance, get a new significant other. And so when I said to folks that are complaining about their landlords, or complaining about living in a Joe Barada property, I suggested the most reasonable alternative to that. Because if you don't like how the property you live in is being maintained, and maybe you have all sorts of problems and issues, and hot water doesn't work, and the plumbing is all screwed up, and the heat goes out in the wintertime, I suggested buy a house, which is reasonable, because that is the smartest thing a human being can do with their money. Invest in a stable place to stay that grows in value over time. And you know what's crazy about owning a home? Your mortgage actually has the potential to go down. For those of you that rent and have rented, when has your rent ever gone down? Even if you never refinance your mortgage, if you have a decent interest rate on your 30-year mortgage, I know that word scares people, but if you have a decent interest rate on your mortgage and you pay the same amount every month, your mortgage payment is the same. Over time, technically, your mortgage is actually getting cheaper, because as everything else around us gets more expensive with inflation, if your mortgage is $825 a month in 2026 and you pay that house off in 2056 and your mortgage is still $825 a month, it technically is a lot less than $825 a month because 30 years later it's still the same dollar amount. We know how inflation can impact the dollar. But when I suggested for people who are complaining about their properties that they're renting, when I suggested that they buy a house, people actually got angry at me for making the suggestion. Sherwin, how dare you say I buy a house? You know I can't afford a house. You're paying $1,900 a month in rent for a place that you hate with no heat and no hot water, but you can't afford a house. But then the other part that got, I guess, kind of argumentative is, and I'm talking about black people. White people, when it comes to owning homes, they've been owning homes since they used to kick Indians off the land and say, we're going to take this and build houses. So white people have got a much longer history with home ownership than us. We are relatively new to it. But with us, black people seem to want the best of everything, and we pride ourselves on that. If there's something that we want, if there's something that we need information about, we can find it. We can find it probably better and faster than anywhere else. There's so many low-interest loans and down payment assistance, and there's so many first-time home buyer incentives that are literally one click away or one Google away, but for some reason that's too much work. And I don't know that people are going to get so angry at the sentiment that I suggest people be much more financially literate and smart with their money instead of throwing their money away on rent. I don't want to use myself as an example, but I'm going to use myself as an example. I bought my house 23 years ago, and I like it very much, and I'm not going anywhere. I thought when I got it close to pay it off, I was going to I'm going to sell my house, and I'm going to take the equity, and I'm going to buy another house. No, I'm not. I am not doing any such thing. And for many, many years, like the first probably 10 or 15 years that I lived in my house, I'm like, I'm going to let my equity build up, and then I'm going to sell it, and I'm going to move somewhere, maybe another house, maybe I'm going to get a condo downtown. Nope. And let me tell you what changed my mind. You guys ever hear of a very rich fella? He's a Caucasian fella. His name is Warren Buffett. That's your favorite, Andrew? You like, he has like a simple brilliance. Him and then his partner. I think his partner died. Ed something. I don't know what his partner is. Him and another guy that started Berkshire Hathaway 3,000 years ago. They look like the two judges from The Muppet Show. What's his name? I know you're going to find. It's another. Ed Monkley. Ed Munkalot. Monkster. I think it starts with is that I'm close? What is it, Andrew?
I think it's a Mugger.
Ed Mugger? All right. I think he's dead, though.
He is dead.
Okay. Munger, maybe. Munger?
With an N, yeah.
Munger. All right. Warren Buffett said, because he's real rich. Like, really, like, woo-wee, billionaire. Big money. And he gave I guess I could call it like a TED Talk. It's just him and his partner, Mr. Munger, just talking about money and being rich. And Warren Buffett, I'm thinking he has this gigantic mansion with expansions and rooms and swimming pools. He was like, no, I live in the same house I bought with my wife in 1956. He's like, why in the hell would I sell my house? That's where I live. That is home. That's where my memories are. That's where I raised my kids. I'm not going to sell my house. And that was brilliant. Why would you start over with another 30-year mortgage? When my house is paid off, here's how you're going to know. I may not tell you, but there will be signs. I'll come to work naked. What are you going to do? My house is paid off. Bruh. What are you going to do? We going to arrest me? I'll just use the equity in my paid off house. Oh, I don't have a mortgage anymore? Oh, give me a ticket for being naked in public. I'll pay it because I don't pay a mortgage anymore. I'll go to a McDonald's drive-through, my tallywhacker hanging out and order a McFlurry.
How close are you?
To here?
To paying off your house.
Close. Closer than I've ever been. If I come into a nice financial lick, it's paid off. It's within reach.
Good for you, man.
Yeah. But I also have been there. I bought it in, what year is this? 26? I bought it in 04, so 22 years. And I come to find out, I'm going to get back on task with my stories and whatever I'm talking about with Barada being held accountable in a second, but just indulge me in a moment while I talk about myself. For those of you that are new to home ownership, And those of you that are considering it, let me give you just a little bit of advice. Because I want people to own homes. I want us to have equity. I want us to have assets. I also want us to stabilize neighborhoods. Because when you stabilize a neighborhood, there literally is less crime. And if you own your home, you're more likely to take care of it and to keep it up. You get very angry if somebody throws garbage in front of your house. I sometimes have to stop myself from going and getting my shotgun when somebody litters in front of my house. That's how angry I get. And I realize the DA would probably file charges. But I get so angry because it's just disrespectful. Because you got to keep in mind, most days I'm home from work at 12:15. I'm home all day. Now I might got stuff to do, run a few errands. I might have meetings and other business endeavors. But even if I have other business endeavors, I'm still working from home. So I see everything in the neighborhood. Here's the worst. I had a run-in with a gentrifier. My neighborhood is unusual because it's a classic working class Milwaukee neighborhood in the shadow of St. Joseph's Hospital. So when I purchased my home, it was 95%, if not all homeowners on my particular block. And those of you that know about the city of Milwaukee, it varies from block to block. You cannot say an entire neighborhood is bad because it varies from block to block. You'll have one neighborhood, or one street rather, one block. Oh, there's manicured lawns and there's begonias. And people have petunias and roses, and they have marigolds, and it's beautiful. And then you go one block over, and you'll get shot in the face. But then you go another block over, and you'll see more petunias and marigolds, and people have, what are those things? Like a truss, like the lattice work with flowers up the lattice work, and then you go through the alley one street over and somebody has a bazooka. So it varies from street to street, from block to block in the city of Milwaukee. Even in the most what you think are challenged neighborhoods, there's always beautiful homes with manicured lawns, and those are the homeowners. I want more homeowners, and I also want us to have much more financial stability. And so by me suggesting that, maybe it's a reminder of something that people never imagine they can have, but it will eliminate your headaches with landlords that are unresponsive. But let me give this bit of advice to current or potentially all of you, I hope, are future homeowners. We need to buy a property in our neighborhood because we always complain when somebody we don't like moves in next door. So my neighborhood started off when I moved there like all homeowners, and then within like 5 years, half of the homeowners sold to absentee landlords, and my block became like renter central, and it was miserable. And now it's homeowners again, but it's getting gentrified. So I have young white or mixed couples that purchased a lot of those homes from the absentee landlords because there's a lot of couples that are childless. I mean, they'll have a golden retriever. Sometimes when I see these blonde white women walking their golden retrievers, I don't know who's walking who. I'm not sure which is which. Because everybody relax. I'm not being racist, but you guys know that sometimes golden retrievers look like white women. I mean, they're very cute dogs. They are, and they're friendly. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily suggest you go up and pet a white woman. Give her a little scratch behind the ears, her legs start shaking. But there was a couple that, and I don't know if they were disrespectful to the neighborhood because they knew that they were moving into a black neighborhood. It's actually quite common for these young white couples that may be childless or don't want to have children to move into certain city of Milwaukee neighborhoods because the houses are big, they're beautiful. The architecture of some of our houses, our Tudors and our bungalows, and the craftsmanship of our older houses, it's just impeccable. My house was built in 1926. It's just got the woodwork and the hardwood floors and the cove dome ceilings and the big thick what do you call those things on not the floorboards but what do you call them things? It's the baseboards. Thank you, Andrew, coming in the clutch where my Alzheimer's is starting to set in. It's just unmatched beauty in some of those homes, and it's a lot cheaper because I'm only like a stone's throw away from Wauwatosa, where the exact same house, exact same square footage, exact same architectural style is $100,000 more dollars and double, if not triple, the property taxes. So obviously, people would move into the city of Milwaukee neighborhood to save money on the purchase price of the home and also to have a much lower annual property tax rate. And so they're walking their dog. And I'm looking out the window. Because I look out the window and see whites in my neighborhood like some of you look out the window and see blacks in yours. And I don't fault you for that. Looking out the window, now you see a black couple moving in across the street. I know what you're thinking. There goes the neighborhood. And now I got to get used to the sounds of bass-heavy hip-hop music and the delicious, enticing, and inviting smells of barbecue. Even in the wintertime. I know what some of y'all are thinking. I think the exact same thing. So I'm watching this couple, and they're walking their golden retriever. And then the dog goes number 2 right in my front yard. I'm looking out the window as this is happening, and I am overwhelmed with profanity, okay? And so I open my front door, and I say, hey, can you guys please pick that up? And the woman was very apologetic. She had her baggie, and she grabbed it. Here's what I forgot in the moment in which I opened the door, because I was so stunned to see it. Because I'll pick up paper all day long. I'm not picking up dog poop. Dog poop is vile. It really is. But I come to find out if you're a dog owner, you're not bothered by your dog poop. Like your dog's poop doesn't bother you, but somebody else's dog poop is gross, right? So as I open the door and I say, hey, can you please pick that up? She's like, oh my God, I'm sorry. I wasn't wearing any pants. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't naked from the waist down. I could have been, because it's my house, Andrew. I don't think she noticed that, or maybe she did. Maybe that's why she was so cooperative. She's like, oh my, look at that rooster. And here comes the rooster. All right, I'm going to take a break, come back. Talk about the city ordinance is going to crack down on some of these landlords that are not doing right by their tenants. But before I do that, I want to leave you with a thought. And also go to YouTube and vote on our poll. I ask you guys if you're renters or homeowners. I'll check the numbers on that in a second. Sometimes renters are a little more reckless with the property when they know they don't own it. They don't really care about it. And the example I'm going to give is when you rent a car. Some of you are very nice to your rental cars, and you treat your rental car like it's your own car. Some of you treat a rental car like it's a NASCAR speedster, and you roll over curbs, and you don't just park in a parking lot. You drive the rental car right through the building because it's a rental. Some people treat rental homes like some of you treat rental cars. A little fact about me, I've never rented a vehicle in my entire life. Can you believe that? I've never rented one. I don't want to rent a vehicle because, yuck, you don't know who's been in that vehicle and what they've done in that rental. I don't want to. And rental cars have a smell, don't they? They all have a smell of, like, the public. Like, just, you can't get the smell. Just like apartment buildings have a smell. You ever go into an apartment building and it smells like apartment? The hallway just has a smell like maybe this place is too diverse. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after. An in-depth recap of every Bucks game. In 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus audio network. If you missed any of the game or just want to relive the biggest moments, Bucks in 6 provides game recaps every morning after. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis or the deep threes from Miles Turner. And catch the comments post-game about what happened on the court. Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus audio network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
In a matchup fueled by speed, strength, and school pride. On Wednesday night, get ready for a city conference battle as the Bradley Tech Trojans take on the South Division Cardinals in a matchup fueled by speed, strength, and school pride. Big plays, loud crowds, and city conference bragging rights are on the line. Tip-off is set for 7 o'clock.
Natural gas is a clean, reliable, and convenient source of energy delivered directly to you through underground pipelines. The pipeline system has an excellent safety record, but there are clues that can help you identify a potential hazard. If you smell the strong odor of rotten eggs, hear an unusual hissing sound, or see blowing dirt or debris, it could be a natural gas leak. Leave the area immediately and call We Energies at 800-261-5325.
We Energies. People you can trust. Energy you can depend on.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Do you hear that? And that? And that? Those are the sounds of a healthy and vibrant community. And to this United Way volunteer, nothing sounds better. They're the sounds of children being given greater chances to succeed in school. The sounds of neighbors receiving the support needed to overcome challenges, both big and small. They're the sounds of families gaining access to quality health care and nutritious food for their tables. And they're the sounds of members of our community who've benefited from United Way's financial education programs. See, wherever there's a need in our communities, there's a United Way. People working together to respond and growing the good for everyone. United is the way. So join us by getting involved or giving back. Learn more at unitedway.org.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
After 91 votes, 67% of those who participated in our YouTube poll own their vehicles, not vehicles, houses. Probably own your vehicles too. Rent is 33%. So it appears, and I'm not sure what the other, because people listen to this show, I'll come to find out, a bunch of different ways. Some people don't listen live at all. They listen to the podcast. Some people are exclusively watching on the YouTube. And a lot of people listen in real time in their vehicles. A lot of drivers. If you're an Amazon driver or an Uber driver or a Lyft driver, a lot of them listen to 1017 The Truth in their vehicles. I have a story I want to tell you, but I don't want to tell you. How do I tell this without tarnishing my stellar reputation? Okay, so I was hanging out with a friend. Okay? And then the morning came. And obviously, it's time for her to go home. You gotta go home. You know, what are you doing? You don't live here. You gotta go. Sometimes they get real comfortable and say stuff like, what are we doing today? I don't know what you're doing at all today. I have many things to do. Actually, no, I don't. I pretend like I have stuff to do. So anyways, it was time for her to go home. And when she got in the vehicle, guess what was playing on? It was a replay of my show. Look at that. So she texted me, she's like, oh my God, this guy is playing your show right now in the vehicle. That's actually happened quite a bit. Friends of mine will sometimes they may not even be listening to my show, but they'll get into an Uber or a Lyft and between 9 a.m. and noon, and they're, look, Sherwin show is on. Because I think on weekends, my show plays from 9 until noon, right, Andrew? Yeah, so that makes a lot of sense. On a Saturday, if she got into the Uber between 9 and noon, I assure you it was closer to 9. And it made sense that my show was playing. I think she was annoyed by that, but whatever.
Not a big brunch guy?
Brunch is kind of gay. So the only time I brunch is if my friend of mine has got a boat, and so on really warm Sunday mornings, we'll meet at his condo because he's got a boat slip in the back of his condo. So we'll meet at his condo. we'll get on the boat. And Milwaukee has a lot of restaurants that have boat slips where you can pull your boat right up to the restaurant, and we'll brunch then. But that's classy. Like if you pull up, he's got a real nice boat. If you pull up on a boat and you park your boat at the boat slip at the restaurant and you walk up that ramp, everybody's looking at you like, ooh, look at them people getting off of that boat and coming for brunch. That I like that kind of brunch, but just me going to brunch with some dudes or even going to brunch with a woman, brunch is not a good date. It's too early. It's too daytime. My tolerance for people gets longer as it gets later. So early in the day, I don't have a lot of tolerance for people. I just don't. Brunch is just, I think that's what girls do. And they drink a bunch of mimosas and get all giggly, and then they all like gossip about their men. I'm not into that.
We got a running tally in here of all the things Sherwin Hughes thinks is gay. Hanging out with dudes, going on vacation.
No, not hanging out with dudes. Going on trips with dudes, unless it's a bachelor party.
Brunch.
Yeah. Brunch. Massages with a male masseuse. But if I was to get a massage, I would want a male masseuse because his hands are probably stronger. I don't want a dainty-handed woman, unless she's a heavy-handed lady, which probably there's not a lot of them. But then if she's a heavy-handed lady, she also might be a dude. So you never really know nowadays. And I'm not throwing shade at heavy-handed people that are women, that are men, that are women, and men. Not at all. I respect everybody. I have so much respect for all of the people. But there is some stuff that, because society is becoming more feminine so that I think women who we found out were harmed during the Me Too movement, because a lot of us didn't know that most of the women that we know, that we love, that we care about, that we're friends with, or married to, or dating, were at some point in time sexually harassed or sexually assaulted. So a lot of men were like, oh, snap, this is horrible, because it's women that I know. And a lot of times the women, they don't tell the men in their lives. And so I think society was like, well, let's just be more gentle and more feminine as men to subdue and allay the fears of women. But that's, you can't do that. You can't, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, you cannot have a functioning society when the men are feminizing themselves so that women feel safer, because then the women realize how much they miss masculinity, and the women will complain that they have to be masculine. But some men have acquiesced to the fact that they need to be more soft and more gentle and more subdued and more emotional so that they can better relate to women. Or it's an extension of, or an unintended consequence of, a bunch of women raising men. Now, I'm not over here being mean or disrespectful to single mothers, but if your son or sons are raised around nothing but feminine energy, then that explains a lot, especially why so many black men twerk. I have a problem with how some of these modern Milwaukee dances are, especially done by the men. They're dropping it low. They have knees like Megan. Not cute, fellas. It really is not. And then the women are complaining, oh, there's no real men out here. Well, of course not. Because your son listened to you yell at, scream at, and complain and berate men his entire childhood. So he has like a form of self-hate and just better relates to women. I do not want to talk about this because you guys are going to get very angry with me. And when I posted my question in the Hughes Views Facebook group, and that's the Facebook group that corresponds to this show, I asked you all what you like and what you don't like about 1017 The Truth, and holy smokes, were you guys honest. But a lot of you don't like my relationship advice. I'll admit I was hurt. I'd like to think that the advice that I give on relationships has saved many a marriage, saved lots of headache, helps you understand your partner better, helps you love them better, helps you be more affectionate. But a bunch of y'all said, oh, when Sherwin talks about relationships, I tune out. Well, as I'm looking at my numbers right now, y'all are starting to tune in. How did I get on this topic from renting and owning a house? What happened? Oh, you said that there's a list of things. Is there really a list of things that I consider gay?
I'm keeping track.
This is to help everybody, just to help. There's nothing wrong with being gay unless you're straight.
The world according to Sherwin Hughes.
That's what my show is. If The gays give us so much creativity, drag. You know, they're fashion. There was a period of time where the editors of some of the biggest fashion magazines and just the designers were gay men. So I did a story. I used to write for the UWM Post quarter century ago when I was at UWM. I always had an interest in media. So I wrote an article, and it was real controversial. And back then, controversy is not like it is now. Controversy now gets you canceled. Back then, a lot of people on campus were talking about it. And I did this analysis of why are fashion models so skinny? Because even this is in the late 1990s, and I was looking at how thin fashion models were at the time, like runway models, and how it's not typical of an average woman's build. And then you would have some women that may think, this is at the time, Instagram has screwed things up even more now. But there were some women that thought because, these are the high fashion models on the runways of Milan and Paris, this is what beauty is. And there's some women that thought they had to be very thin to be beautiful because these are the people that these fashion designers are selecting to model their clothes. And it's really screwed up. Let me tell you why it's screwed up. And I wrote an article about this. Wish I could find the article. Maybe you can Google it. Who knows? Because a lot of the top fashion designers at the time, whether it be Calvin Klein, Pierre Cardin, the Versace, whoever they were, they said they didn't want curvy, shapely women to model their clothes because the excuse they gave was, well, the curves of the woman will distract away from the beauty of my fashion. Here's what it really was. They wanted models that depicted their preferred body type in men. No curves, very thin, almost bodies like pubescent boys. That's why the editors of fashion magazines, being gay men, and top designers, being gay men, altered the standard of beauty to reflect that of what a gay man would want in another man. And now you have straight heterosexual women and men now idealizing these incredibly thin body types that were selected by gay men. It was such a weird article, but it made an awful lot of sense. But that's just where I get my perspective from. Probably should take a break before I get canceled. I'm just stating some facts. That's all it is. Because the radio brand is called The Truth. And this is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, it's time once again to celebrate excellence, passion, and the power of community at the second annual Truth Community Awards, happening Friday, February 20th at Venue 3 inside the 3rd Street Market Hall in downtown Milwaukee. This award show will honor the unsung heroes who show up, give back, and make a positive impact in our community every single day. We are rolling out the red carpet and showing love to those who truly deserve it. Buy your tickets now by visiting 1017thetruthAwards.com. Tickets are just $20, which includes free food and exclusive Truth giveaways. Join the 1017 The Truth team for an unforgettable night of entertainment, inspiration, and community pride at the second annual Truth Community Awards on Friday, February 20th at Venue 3 in Milwaukee. The Truth Community Awards are sponsored by Gruber Law Offices, Steinhoffels, Milwaukee College Prep, Cousin Subs, Venue 3 at the 3rd Street Market Hall, and the Milwaukee Bucks.
Metastatic breast cancer, or stage 4 breast cancer, happens when cancer spreads beyond the breast to other parts of the body. About 168,000 women are living with it today, with Black women at a higher risk due to various factors. Research has led to treatments that help manage the disease and improve quality of life. The Everyday Counts study explores how nutrition and exercise coaching can support women with metastatic breast cancer. To learn more about the Everyday Counts study in Milwaukee, call 414-955-8819 or email edc@mcw.edu. If you or someone you know has stage 4 breast cancer, please encourage them to call and enroll in this valuable study. Again, call 414-955-8819 or email edc@mcw.edu.
I'm Angela Bassett. As a first responder on screen, I know what it means to act fast in an emergency. In real life, the same urgency can save lives, especially when it comes to a food allergy. For 33 million Americans, one bite can turn an ordinary meal into a life-threatening reaction. And too often, they don't have the one thing that could save them, epinephrine. But emergencies don't wait. And when a severe reaction happens, being prepared makes all the difference. Now, there's a needle-free option, a new way to carry epinephrine that makes it easier than ever to be ready. No needles, no hesitation, because when the unexpected happens, the best thing you can do is be ready. Know the risk, know the options, be ready to act. Learn more at foodallergy.org/ready to act.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Yes, Andrew, you can stretch, but there's a gay and a straight way to stretch. If you like kind of roll your shoulders back and like arch your back when you stretch as a man and just like let out a yawn, it's like, oh, that's yawn like a man.
You can't do anything around Sherwin, man.
No, I'm not saying that you're gay, and men can exhibit a lot of different characteristics and not be gay. But food allergies, I think, are gay. If you're allergic to peanuts, that's kind of gay. Like, how are you allergic? What happened to you? Like, women can be allergic to things. Because I could just, I'm allergic to that. Because women just, they're not happy.
Guys can't have a peanut allergy? Can't have a little, like, hey, fresh cut grass makes my skin itch?
You can have, you can have a peanut allergy until you turn 21. But if you're a 29-year-old dude working in corporate America, yeah, can you guys keep the peanuts away?
Dude, my friend literally died from a peanut allergy at 19. So I hope you have fun in hell.
That is a terrible thing, and that is awful. And I don't want anyone to have a peanut allergy. And then there's people that are allergic to the shellfish one. I think maybe I understand a little bit more. So check this out. I went to lunch with a friend I worked with many years ago, and we went to the Safe House. The Safe House actually has really good food. He is allergic. I'm not laughing. I'm laughing at the irony. He's allergic to shellfish. We all got fish fries and got clam chowder. And he knows, for some reason, he didn't, as someone who has a shellfish allergy, he didn't think that there was either enough clams to give him the reaction, or he didn't know that clams were a shellfish. And he's eating the clam chowder, and then all of a sudden we noticed his voice was changing. Because we're at lunch and we're talking. He's like, I don't know what's going on. What? We're like, Corey, are you okay, buddy? Oh, no. Is there shellfish and clam chowder? And he has a deep voice usually. But because he had a reaction to the clams and the clam chowder, he had to go to Walgreens to get an EpiPen. I'm like, if you're going to have that kind of allergy, you got to know that clams are shellfish, and you're going to... All I know is people didn't used to have peanut allergies. In fact, there's a restaurant called the Ground Round, and we used to throw peanuts at each other. There's peanut shells all over the floor. They came recently because there's a section, and I don't go to many Brewers games, but there's a section at baseball games, because that's a part of going to baseball. The peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever come back or get whatever. You can't. There's a peanut-free section at Miller Park, American Family Insurance baseball arena. I guess I probably could Google it. Andrew, you don't have a peanut. Do you have any food allergies?
No food allergies.
All right. Consider yourself lucky.
Thank you.
Okay. Apparently, I got to take that off the list. Peanut allergies are not gay.
Cross it off.
But no, I set an age limit. I said after the age of 21. A childhood peanut allergy. Because don't you outgrow that stuff? Don't you outgrow?
You can outgrow some. You also can grow into some. Like, you might not be allergic to some sort of medicine, and then you turn 60 and you get allergic to it.
You know what? It's usually not the medicine, it's the additives. I come to find out when people they ask you if you're allergic to any kind of medications, it may not be the penicillin itself, but some of the other additives there might be in the penicillin pill is what people are sometimes allergic to. But I don't think anybody is allergic to penicillin. But some of you all are allergic to vaccines because there's a measles outbreak in Waukesha County, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Milwaukee aldermen are advocating for tougher penalties on negligent landlords after a 36-unit apartment building at North 28th Street and Wisconsin Avenue was evacuated due to a lack of heat and water owned by Barada Properties Management. City inspectors evacuated the building on Thursday after discovering the absence of essential services for days. Quote, "No one deserves to live like that," Milwaukee Alderwoman Charlene Moore said on Monday. She's one of 3 alders at a news conference on Monday, citing the emergency evacuation as an example of unresponsive landlords dragging their feet with tenants suffering consequences. Now, every time I talk about this objectively, people think that I'm on Barada's payroll. I assure you I am not. Do any of you work for a really big company, like a really big company? Barada owns property like all over the country, and he's got like thousands of units, whatever. And I'm not making up an excuse for him. I just want to be somewhat practical and objective because it could be anybody. Take Barada out of it. It could be some other major landlord. Or I can relate it to the CEO of a company that has a lot of employees. Some employees are terrible. They're awful. They're lazy. They're unproductive. They suck. They're even dangers to the workforce, right? The CEO, who might have thousands of employees spread across the United States, can't know about all of the issues and the problems that exist within the corporation that may even bear that CEO's name. But you have people that you hire that are responsible for these divisions of employees and for this operation over here and for this group of accountants and HR professionals, just like I am sure Barada has individuals who are managing his properties because he can't oversee all of them. But for some reason, we're blaming him. And maybe we should because he's the man at the top. But maybe it's a failure in his leadership and the people that he hired, which I guess the buck stops with him, right? Maybe he does not have the best apartment managers. Is this who I think it is on line 1? Is this? Well. So what do I owe the honor and steadfast pleasure to be joined by none other than Dr. Ken Harris?
I heard you badgering people about having food allergies.
Oh, good Lord. Oh, good God Almighty.
And calling them gay.
You're allergic to tomatoes, aren't you?
And nuts. And rice.
And did you say rice?
And anything. Yep.
So what happens if you? I'm curious if I can't believe you called on this. So what happens if you eat a little bit of rice?
I can go into anaphylactic shock.
Really?
That's why I carry an EpiPen. So stop trashing people who carry EpiPens and have to go get them.
Is it the arsenic or something that could be in the rice? Because we know that there's arsenic in rice. Your Chinese food must be really unfilling.
I don't eat Chinese food. I don't eat pizza, Italian food, Mexican food, anything that has tomatoes. Chili. I also lost weight too, so there's that.
Zach just said you get Qdoba every day. So hold on, man.
Correct. Well, that's not Mexican food. That's Qdoba.
Dr. Ken, I apologize. I do. I did not know.
It's too late.
What? I apologize. I just said because you're a rare case, though. That has to be a rare case.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
And it was later onset in life. Like I didn't find out till I was like in my early 50s that why I was feeling tired and throat changed and all that stuff was because I had developed allergies.
So
and
as
my
a
body
child,
was tough enough to fight it off. As a child, I was still allergic to aspirin as a child.
All right, well, good thing you're not allergic to talk radio, because people can listen to you Monday through Friday from 4 until 6 p.m. right here on 101.7 The Truth. That is our food allergic Dr. Ken Harris.
Same reason I listen to you every day from 9 to 12.
Well, thank you, Doc. I appreciate your listenership. And I won't call you gay because of your food allergies anymore. I didn't know that Dr. Ken listed off everything. I can't drink water. I can't walk. I can't stand. I'm allergic to motion. He said chili. He can't eat anything with tomatoes in it. Doesn't eat Chinese food. Doesn't eat Mexican food. He doesn't eat rice. Rice makes the world go round. So I guess when Dr. Ken got married, they couldn't throw rice. Would they throw mashed potatoes? Oh, my God. What is happening here? Oh, all right. Why don't we do this, Andrew? This only happens when you're here. And then Zach is up next, so it's going to get even probably worse. I do have to talk about the measles case that was reported in Waukesha, because I do want us to be very careful. And I also have put out a bit of a warning here. So if you're from Waukesha, you can't come to Milwaukee. And this until we get the measles cases eradicated. So if you're from Waukesha, stay there. Don't come here. As Kamala Harris said when she was talking about illegals coming to the country. Remember, Kamala? I wish we could find this. Do not come. Do not come. And then they spliced it with a Donald Trump soundbite, or Donald Trump screams, "I'm coming," and then they go back to Kamala Harris. Do not come. I'm going to come. Do not come. It was so funny. Okay, let's take a break, shall we? Looks like we're going to be talking to Millicent on the other side. The building is one of 11 residential properties deemed uninhabitable this winter due to a lack of heat, owned by Joe Barata, marking nearly a 60% increase from last winter. Aldermen argue that current fines, typically a few $100s, are ineffective for landlords with repeated code violations. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, where, okay, if you have certain food allergies, you're not gay. You're bisexual. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
Coming with straight truth. We can do anything when it comes to being organized, when it comes to making sure that we're active, when it comes to making sure that we're holding people accountable and making sure that we get something out of the deal. Y'all don't know how to make deals. Y'all mad at Donald J. Trump because he's trying to make deals or trying to say that he's the master of the art of the deal. Well, okay, what deals is you trying to make?
Catch the Tory Lowe Show every weekday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Every child deserves a school that sees their brilliance. At Milwaukee College Prep, they believe in high expectations, strong character, and academic excellence starting as early as age of 3. MCP scholars continue to outperform their peers across Milwaukee. And the best part about it all, Milwaukee College Prep is tuition free. If you're looking for a school that partners with you, challenges your child, and prepares them for college and beyond, Milwaukee College Prep is the place. Visit MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com to learn more. That's MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com.
There's nothing like Milwaukee Bucks basketball at Fiserv Forum. The dunks, the defense, the roar of 17,000 fans. It's even better when you're with friends or family. From jaw-dropping plays to buzzer-beating threes, every game is packed with unforgettable moments that you'll get to share together. So gather your crew and get your single game tickets today at bucks.com/single. That's bucks.com/single.
Many of our most important memories are made at school. But for children like Victoria, the classroom can be a place of fear and isolation. She wore a bandage over her cleft every day, too shy to speak, too afraid to smile. Everything changed after one life-transforming surgery made possible by Smile Train. Today, Victoria's smile lights up her classroom, a symbol of confidence, connection, and new beginnings. Due to stigma, children with untreated clefts often miss out on school entirely. But thanks to Smile Train, students like Victoria are stepping into the classroom, raising their hands, and finding their voice. Smile Train partners with local experts to support with free cleft surgeries and other comprehensive care, empowering children to thrive in school and in life. Let's help every child walk into the classroom with confidence. Visit smiletrain.org/learn.
It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm going to come.
What do you mean? And they cheered when he... She was talking
so good.
She was talking about illegals. And then Trump was at a Turning Point USA conference. Ain't no telling what Donald Trump was talking about when he said that he was going to arrive. All right, let me check out our YouTube poll. See how you guys are. How the homeowners are comparing to the renters. Oh, this is ridiculous. How they allow this stuff on the air. All right. With how many people voting? 103 votes. 64% of you own your homes. 36% of you rent. And for those of you that rent and maybe rent from a Barada property, I just want you to know that home ownership is possible for you. Why don't you guys do this? Go to axhousing.org, actshousing.org, actshousing.org. They got first-time home buyer programs that can help you with your credit and down payment assistance and get you all sorts of grants and low-interest loans. Just consider it, because you don't want to be in a Barada property for another year, and if it's just as cold next winter and then the heat goes out and it's very cold in your apartment, and it would be very, very terrible. Ain't that right, Millicent?
Yes, that is. That's terrible. But home ownership, I don't want everybody to own a home, because some people own a home and they've treated worse than they did the rental property they were in.
Oh.
So we got to be kind of careful about that.
All right.
I do have something. I want people to understand that right now it's very important that you get your kids vaccinated. Measles is nothing to play with for kids. Also, if you are above the age of 60, please go get a booster MMR. When we got our MMRs, it was not a live virus. So we are susceptible to measles, too, even though we do have our vaccination. So please, if you're over 60, just go to your doctor and ask them for a booster. It's free.
All right. Even though people don't trust the vaccines, though, Millicent, but I got a feeling that they trust you.
I know. No, what I'm saying is you don't have to trust me, but we also need to make it illegal for you to go do a GoFundMe if something happens to your child because of measles. Can't do a GoFundMe because you had an opportunity to stop it.
That's not
measles
nice.
Is nothing to play with. But I'm just saying, measles is not something people need to be playing with.
I agree.
When it comes to your kids or yourself, it's very, very dangerous. One person can kill 200 people with measles. It's not a joke. Measles is deadly, and people aren't understanding that. And when you say, I don't trust those vaccines for my kids, you got them, and you're fine. Please get your kid vaccinated. Come on, please.
We should make that
That's
a
my
public.
only spiel for today.
All right, we should make that a public service announcement.
Yeah, because they need them. I'm just saying, you got to get those vaccinations. I know people are skeptical. They don't believe in them. But what is so stupid is if you get cancer, you'll go take that chemo, and the chemo people are the same people that makes the vaccinations. And you don't even know what's in your chemo. Think about that. Think about that.
Thank you,
Have a
Millicent.
good day.
All right, you too. Have a good day. She said, you don't know what's in the chemo. It's chemicals. Chemotherapy is chemical therapy. It's probably snakes, snails, puppy dog tails, sugar, spice, and everything nice is probably in there. A little salt, and probably some egg whites. Let's talk to that one guy. You're on 101.7 The Truth.
Hey, man. Oh, man, you took my call pretty quick. A lot quicker than I could mentally prepare myself.
That's because you only have 50 seconds.
Also, 50 seconds, dude. Oh, man.
Now 40.
50 seconds. 40. Well, at least, you could talk to each other for like 30 seconds. But anyways, shoot, man, I can't even make up my mind here. Sherwin. What am I trying to talk to you about? Yes, the Barada properties, yes. Yeah, he kind of is a dirtbag for that. It sucks that, damn, dude. I'll call you next time, dude. Thank you for taking my call.
I didn't even need to answer that.
Thrilling intellectual conversations happening today.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back for hour 3.
Come in with straight truth.
If you acted up, if you were out here doing any kind of foolishness or just something that people know would make your family's name look bad, your neighbor from down the street, if they see the son or daughter, be like, what are you doing? They gonna call you out. They gonna let you know that they saw you. And then they gonna tell you, come here. Now, you know I'm gonna tell your daddy.
That part. There are a lot of times when people are new to an area, they don't know where to plug in. And anybody who plugs in to 101.7 The Truth and listen to you and Dame and Truth Nation would know that there is a significant public outcry when violence happens in our community. Don't worry about the outcry if you're not listening to the right people. So I would encourage her to tune in to 101.7 The Truth and listen to you guys, Denise Thomas, Dr. Ken Harris, Tori Lowe, and definitely Sherwin Hughes every day.
Watch all your favorite 101.7 The Truth shows by subscribing to 101.7 The Truth on YouTube.
People don't realize that glaucoma is one of the leading causes of blindness.
Because there are often no early symptoms, nearly half of those with glaucoma may not even know they have it until vision loss has occurred.
I was diagnosed with normal tension glaucoma in July of 2020. And what we found out at that point was I had already lost 40% of my sight. You think it only affects people that are, 75 or older, retired, grandparents, and that's not the reality of it.
I didn't think at all glaucoma was going to affect me because I didn't know of anyone that had glaucoma, no one in my family. When you have glaucoma, you can't get back that sight that you lost. And so early detection and treatment is vitally, vitally important.
Don't miss life's most beautiful moments. Schedule an eye exam today.
National Glaucoma Research, a Bright Focus Foundation program, offers free resources and tips for healthy vision.
Learn how to protect your sight at stopglaucoma.org.
When I was diagnosed with Hodgkin lymphoma, I had so many questions. I didn't even know that it was cancer. Now I do. It is cancer. Blood cancer. It's actually one of more than 100 different types, and they're all treated differently. Now, unlike some other forms of cancer, usually there's no tumor. You can't screen for it to prevent it, and the symptoms can look like other things, so it could be hard to diagnose. I had a fever for weeks. I was so tired all the time. I didn't feel like eating or doing anything else for that matter. And I know that this can feel scary. But if you know what to look out for, you'll know what to tell your doctor. And you'll feel more empowered to take the next steps. Like getting in touch with the people who know the ins and outs and can help with everything blood cancer related. Blood Cancer United. They work one-on-one with each person who reaches out to answer questions and offer resources. Blood Cancer United was there for me, and they can be there for you.
Go to bloodcancerunited.org to learn more.
You're listening to the new 101.7 The Truth, founded in partnership with Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. 101.7 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee. A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Saturday night.
from Samoa. 33 days after 2 Samoan children died in 2019 from a deadly mix of the MMR vaccine and a muscle relaxant, an organization founded by Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the current Secretary of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, paid Facebook to post multiple ads sowing doubt about the measles vaccine. One ad, funded by the Children's Health Defense, claimed measles vaccines were linked to chronic illnesses and autism, claims widely debunked by scientific research. This is also the man that said that pregnant women taking Tylenol causes autism. And he is the Secretary of Health and Human Services. This is a man who flipped the food pyramid upside down and says we should be eating less fruits and vegetables and more red meat. We have a childhood obesity epidemic in this country. Children are born so fat in this country when they're born, they have a driver's license because they're grown. They're 200 pounds. Do you know that they are now putting whole milk back in school lunches while we still have a childhood obesity epidemic? As compared to the Obama administration, when Michelle Obama made her signature issue, childhood obesity and drinking water, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is now telling people to eat more beef and more pork and drink more whole milk and eat less vegetables. His organization, the Children's Health Defense, spent money on Facebook ads telling people that the measles vaccine was dangerous and linked to chronic illnesses and linked to autism. All of those things have been completely debunked as untrue by real doctors and scientists. About a year later, a measles outbreak ravaged the island of Samoa. More than 5,700 people were affected and 83 people died, and most of them were children. The organization's ads before and after the outbreak reached up to 110,000 people on Facebook and were specifically targeted to female users, according to research conducted by George Washington University and shared exclusively with Atlanta News First Investigates. The ads cost between $100 and $499 each. Quote, from my standpoint, Kennedy should rot in hell for this because he knew he was taking advantage of vulnerable people, said Hawaii Governor Josh Green, who led a medical response team to Samoa in 2019 to inoculate thousands of people during a mass vaccination campaign to stop the outbreak of measles on the small island. Green was Hawaii's lieutenant governor at the time. About 6 months before the outbreak, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. visited Samoa in person. At the time of his visit, Kennedy was an attorney and active in the Children's Defense Fund. While on the island, he posed with Taylor Winterstein, a Samoan social media influencer well known for her anti-vaxxer messaging in Australia. Now let's fast forward to where we are right now. Robert Kennedy Jr. has been the Health and Human Services Secretary for about a year. He did, in fact, spread misinformation about the measles vaccine. So what happened on the island of Samoa is that 2 vaccines, accidentally somebody put muscle relaxer in these 2 measles, mumps, and rubella vaccines. Unfortunately, and very sadly, those 2 children that got that accidental mix died. Robert Kennedy heard about that. Instead of doing the evidence and doing any kind of research, he immediately said, nope, it's the measles vaccine itself, not the fact that there was an accidental combination of muscle relaxer that was put into those 2 vials of measles vaccine. So then he goes and runs ads on social media telling people on the island of Samoa not to get the measles vaccine. 5,700 people get the measles and 83 people die because of his misinformation. Now let's fast forward to right now, yet another unintended consequence of an election. A case of measles has been confirmed in a residence in Waukesha County. The Wisconsin Department of Health Services and Waukesha County Health and Human Services reported yesterday. The case is the first confirmed case in Wisconsin this year. I assure you, 50 people by now already have the measles. Officials said the case is related to international travel, and they are working on identifying and notifying anyone who may have been exposed to the measles virus. At this time, they say no public exposure locations have been identified. The Department of Health Services encourages Wisconsinites to check their vaccination status to make sure they are protected from the measles. Now, I know some of you may not trust the vaccines. Sherwin does. Because I obviously have done as much research as a layperson can possibly do during COVID because I wanted to combat misinformation. So when 1017 The Truth started, we started January 4th, 2021, and COVID was still very much a real thing. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think we had to be vaccinated to even be able to come into the studio in person. And there were a lot of people that didn't trust the vaccine. Now, we still kept those people around and kept them broadcasting. They just couldn't be in the studio. And so because there was so much misinformation, including some of my colleagues not believing in the vaccines, I did a tremendous amount of research on it. And for all intents and purposes, unless you had some specific health anomalies or abnormalities, the COVID vaccine was very, very safe. But I am someone who, through the research that I did, because I want to provide as much real-time, up-to-date, and factual information to people as I possibly could, because if I'm not doing that, then I don't deserve a radio show, period. I come to find out that in the late 1800s and the early 1900s, that there were these cemeteries that were just full of children that were born 1893, died 1895. Born 1901, died 1901. Born 1905, died 1907. So at the turn of the century, the number of children that were dying was astronomical. In fact, if you had a child in those years, in those decades of the early 20th century and late 19th century, the chance of your child surviving was very, very slim. You know what extended not just the life expectancy of children, but the life expectancy of human beings of any age? Vaccines. If that is one of the specific things in the development of medical technology that we can point to that has had a direct impact on extending our lives, it's vaccines. Therefore, I trust them. I just turned 50. They pumped me full of vaccines because when you turn 50, you got a new vaccine schedule. They said, okay, Sherwin, because my annual checkups are right around my birthday in March, you see. So I had just turned 50, and I was going to get my annual physical, my annual checkup. I tell you about those because I want you guys to be healthy as well. Sometimes I'm already naked when my doctor walks in to the room, and he's startled. He's like, Sherwin, why are you naked already? I was like, I don't know. I'm going to get naked eventually. Just sitting there with my legs crossed, my socks on, just butt naked. It's fine. He's like, okay, Sherwin, you're 50 now. We got a shingles vaccine for you. We got a pneumococcal pneumonia. I can't say it. What's the word, Zach? Pneumonia. Whew. One of those. I don't know why I couldn't say that word. Pneumonia. And I think I got another vaccine. I said, Doc, just pump me full of them because I don't want none of that stuff. He was like, all right, then. They bring in the medical assistant or the nurse, and she just... I think it makes your manhood bigger, too, when you get vaccinated. I think so. I noticed changes. Officials said the case is related to international travel, and they are working on notifying anyone who may have been exposed to the measles virus. People planning winter vacations should look at measles activity in the location they plan to travel and be sure everyone they are traveling with is up to date on needed vaccines. So I got a little information on measles here. So it's really contagious. That's why this case of international travel makes me really, really nervous. Now, I'm vaccinated. Hell, I hope I am. I'd like to think that if I needed an update on my MMR, how often do you have to get those? I thought that was just like, you get like 2, like when you're a kid. I guess I probably could look that up. Did somebody look that up, how many measles vaccines you need? Because if not, I'll go get one today. I don't want the measles. It's so contagious that if someone has the measles and they walk into a room, and let's say they walk right out of the room. They walk in the room like, oh, I don't need to be in this room, and they walk out of the room. That whole room is contagious for measles for 24 hours. Now imagine an airport. Imagine an airplane. And imagine unvaccinated people in an airport or getting on an airplane, and then that plane traveling to other destinations within or outside of the United States, and then that entire plane is contagious for 24 hours. Do you know how many people potentially can be exposed, especially through an airport? Many people. I think even here in Milwaukee, I don't think we have a large airport at all. It's an important one, but not very large. Like 1 million plus people pass through our General Mitchell Airport every single year. So the impact that unvaccinated people can have is overwhelming. All right, here we go. Early symptoms of the measles, and I have them in stages. Why don't we do this? I'll take a break, come back, give you the early stages of measles. And I also don't believe that just this single case of measles that has been identified in Waukesha County is the only one. Some of the symptoms that people may get, because if you're an adult, you may not know if your parents vaccinated you for the measles. I'm pretty sure Emma and Eugene got their boys, me and Tyler, vaccinated. I mean, we act like vaccinated people. Vaccinated people are very smart. We do have a slight limp. I'm kidding. Bruh. But I think that we're both. Ma, if you're listening, am I vaccinated? What do I need to do? I'm hoping you guys are vaccinated, but some of you may not know, especially if, like, maybe you were adopted. Maybe you don't know your vaccination history. So I'm going to take a break, come back. I'm going to give you the measles symptoms, some of which don't show up for 14 days. So I want you all to be knowledgeable about this. So I don't want you guys getting the measles. And again, I, Sherwin Hughes, am announcing an unofficial quarantine of all people in Waukesha. Just stay there. No Bucks games for you. Don't come to Milwaukee. We don't need more problems here. Okay? Tell you what, Trump, why don't you send ICE to Milwaukee to keep people from Waukesha out? You need a Milwaukee passport to be able to come to our city, and you have to have a vaccine if you want to come here. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
The revolution starts in our mind, right? You know when Gil Scott-Heron said the revolution won't be televised? Like he didn't mean that you won't be able to watch it on TV. He means the revolution starts in your mind. You nincompoop. Y'all been running around saying that for 60 years. The revolution won't be televised and didn't even know what the hell it meant. It starts with us.
Let him cook. Watch all your favorite 101.7 The Truth shows by subscribing to 101.7 The Truth on YouTube.
It starts with a spark. At Milwaukee College Prep, they nurture that spark from age 3 through 8th grade, building scholars with knowledge, character, and confidence. 88% of their students face economic hardship, but that does not define them. At MCP, they see students' potential, and they help them live up to that potential. 4 campuses, 1 mission. College and beyond, MCP is free, high-performing, and open to all Milwaukee families. Visit MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com to enroll or get involved. That's MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com.
Hey Journey team, it's me, Coach Erica. Happy New Year. Are you ready? Because the time is now to begin your journey to success. This is your season to level up. Keep striving, keep pushing, and keep doing. No more waiting, no more excuses. Your journey starts today. For more information or to connect with me, visit EricaOdomJourney.com. That's EricaOdomJourney.com.
How much does it cost to talk to Gruber Law Offices after a serious crash? It's free. Yes, free. As in, it won't cost you anything to speak with us. Not sure if you have a case? Call our team at Gruber Law Offices today. Your first call and your first consultation are always free. And you'll never pay us a fee until we win your case. If you've been seriously injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
And so did you.
When you raised your hand and swore an oath to your country, when you put your name on a dotted line, you became part of only 1% of Americans who did the same. You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran. Because no matter when, where, or how you served, you made a sacrifice for your country, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Reach out to a loved one, to a fellow veteran, to VA.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
When the winter chill sets in, Milwaukee turns up the wonder. From January 22nd to February 1st, Milwaukee Museum Days invites you to unlock the city's cultural treasures at special admission prices up to 25% off in many top attractions. Explore world-class art and local history, hands-on science, and one-of-a-kind Milwaukee experiences. Pair your museum visits with Milwaukee Hotel Month deals for the ultimate winter escape. Learn more at visitmilwaukee.org/museum days. Visit milwaukee.org/museum days. There's my favorite museum in the city is the Groman Museum on the MSOE campus. It is so beautiful. And if I'm not mistaken, it's one very wealthy man's art collection. He just donated it to MSOE, and they built like a 3-floor exhibit, and it's dedicated to labor and laborers and the working class. Beautiful, beautiful artwork in the Groman Museum on the MSOE campus. Very nice. You should check it out. Make sure you guys keep listening to the program, because not only am I going to give you very detailed information and what you need to look out for, because there's a measles case in Waukesha. I'm going to tell you what to look for as far as signs and symptoms of the measles, but also going to give you a chance to be rich so you can buy a bunch of protest signs, $5,000 courtesy of Gruber Law Offices, because I know a lot of you are going to be doing a lot of protesting in the coming days and the weeks and the months, and this summer is going to be full of protests. We want you to be able to afford all of your protest necessities. Comfortable shoes, something to protect your face from bear spray. So keep listening to the program. We're going to give you a chance to win $5,000 courtesy of Gruber Law Offices. Before I get to the measles symptoms, can I just suggest a business opportunity? Because I want you guys to be entrepreneurs. Whenever I get an idea that I know I'm not going to do, why not give it away? So, some months ago, and then also on today's program, we talked about this influx of vehicles that will be unclaimed, that are going to get towed because of this new reckless driving state law that allows the police to take vehicles and have them confiscated if someone is driving recklessly. Well, a lot of those vehicles are not going to get picked up because people won't be able to afford the tickets and the citations. They won't be able to afford the storage fee that they're going to get charged when their vehicle gets towed. And a lot of folks don't have insurance, and you have to show proof of auto insurance before you pick that vehicle up. So a bunch of those vehicles are going to end up going to auction. We need a program or an organization, or maybe there is an existing nonprofit that has room to expand, where they then purchase those unclaimed vehicles from the city of Milwaukee, and they use those vehicles to teach young people how to do basic auto maintenance. I had been changing my oil. Well, it depends on the vehicle. Some vehicles I had, like import cars, are difficult. But I had a Blazer, a Chevrolet Blazer, and I would change the oil in my Chevrolet Blazer in my parents' driveway. Don't ask me what I did with the old oil. That's none of your business. Okay? You mind your business. We weren't that big on the environment back in the 90s. We didn't care a lot. Don't shake your head at me, Zach. We didn't care about the environment. We just don't give me the finger. I could say something stupid like, there's no global warming because it's cold out. Actually, this is climate change, what we're seeing and experiencing right now. It's below zero, like down in Texas. Oh, they freaking out down there. I love it when the Southerners experience cold weather, especially the people that move south. Oh, it's warm down here. They leave the north to move down south because of the weather. Ha ha, suckers. So anyways, here's a business idea. What if you put together little protest kits? Now, hear me out now. So if you're going to protest, you can buy a kit. It includes magic markers, big white placards. I thought we had a protest sign in here. Like those sticks, right? A water bottle. What else could we include? And it's a package, and you just buy it. So there we go. Thank you, Zach. All right. Thank you very much. What's this one say? Stop the hate. Stop the hate. My complexion is not a weapon. So what if, when you arrived at the protest, for $39, payable, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, you could get a little protest kit where you have one of these wooden sticks, some paper, some magic markers, maybe a couple bottles of water, maybe a whistle, and you just have a protest package. Because it's probably cheap to buy those things individually, and you put it in a protest package, and you have a booth set up at the protest site. Let's say they're meeting at Red Arrow Park, the 900 block of water. Should be like, hi, get your protest packs. Got your protest packs here. Protest packs here. Get your wooden stake, get your placard, get your magic markers, get your bottle of water, get your face mask for tear gas and whatever else. That's a nice business opportunity, I think. Uh-oh. Al, I meant to ask you yesterday about your weekend because you were posting some wild stuff on social media.
Boing, boing, boing.
But I don't know if you can even tell us about your weekend because you was out. You was outside.
I was just kicking it and had a little appetite for some stud kukai. Because, the stud kukai is the closest you can get to a recycled version because the gripping power is so profound. So, every time in a while I have a taste for a good old stud. I had a stud one time kind of looking like Barry White. Had that big been around the world, and now, that good old Barry White looking studs. I'm telling you, every time you get a chance, you just whoop right across. Oh! I'm telling you, them Barry Whites, them studs, you bring them on back to their roots. But you was talking about the side effects. They should do a test kit for crack. What about Beth got that meth and that good old cocaine? Where they think they hearing voices and they walking the street at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning sweating like a pig on that grill that they got on the barbecue porch wrapped in aluminum foil. They should do one for that. Because, crack is whack, but they need to do one for crack. When the SOS pass is missing and everybody walking around with the 2 middle teeth missing on the top and the bottom, talking about they had bad, they just, they didn't go to the dentist. No, that wasn't the dentist. That was a chemical from them crack. And then they should do one on the straight shooter, too, where all the steel wool and the SOS pass is missing in the house. What do you think about that?
I think that's a fantastic idea.
And then here's another one.
Beth with that meth.
And when they sit there and say they got bad sinuses, but it ain't the sinuses that bad. It's just they've been I-94 and that cocaine and that dope and ate up the inside. So now they got that running river running out their nose. Now their nose looking like Pinocchio. Like they look like Janice Dickinson. Because they didn't ran that I-94 and that dirt road all up them nostrils. So, that cocaine and that crack and tore up them nostrils. Because they never hungry. What do you think about that?
I think that's a fantastic idea. I really think that's
good old crack and cocaine.
Oh, cocaine.
Angel dust.
PCP.
Percocet. Don't forget them good old rollers, because you don't ejaculate when you take them $7 rollers. Just roll me to the place. But real quick, Mr. Hughes, I was downtown.
Okay.
I gave this man, he said, you got $1. I said, I don't got $1. I gave him $10. He said, drop your pants. I said, no, thank you. He said, I believe in working for my money. But you know what? I had to give him some credit for that. Because any man and any woman who work for their money, I said, that's all right. But I told him I don't do no dolphin mouth. Hey. Have a good one, everybody.
You too. Thanks, Al.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay.
Excuse me, what?
I don't even want to talk about the measles anymore. I don't. That was my fault because I asked him about his weekend.
Yeah, you got him. He started having flashbacks.
Did you see what he posted? He only mentioned a portion of, I can't read it or recite it here on 101.7 The Truth, but it's okay, measles, I guess. Early symptoms 7 to 14 days after exposure. High fever, often 102 to 104 degrees, sometimes higher. Dry cough, runny nose, red, watery eyes, fatigue, and body aches. A lot of people will think they just have the flu. Koplik spots, which is an early warning sign. Tiny white or bluish white spots inside the mouth. They appear 1 to 2 days before the body rash. Very specific to measles. So you will have bluish white spots inside of your mouth. Measles rash 3 to 5 days after the symptoms begin. Starts with the face and the hairline, spreads downward to the neck and the chest, then the arms and the feet. Flat red spots that may merge together. Fever often spikes even higher when the rash appears. The rash usually lasts about a week. Worst case scenarios, you may get serious complications from the measles. Measles can attack multiple systems in the body, especially in unvaccinated people and infants and pregnant people and adults over 20 and immunocompromised individuals. Severe complications include pneumonia, most common cause of measles-related death, especially dangerous for infants and older adults. Encephalitis, brain swelling, seizures, deafness, intellectual disability, permanent brain damage. Next, one of the worst symptoms of the measles is you'll go blind. Blindness from corneal damage and a complete vitamin A depletion. Immune system reset. Measles can erase immune memory for months to years. Increase risks of other infections long after recovery. So all of the immunities that you may have from different sicknesses and illnesses and colds, measles takes all that away. And now you're susceptible to all those things again. Well, I don't even know how to say this. They call it SSPE, subacute sclerosing panencephalitis. They call this the nightmare scenario with measles. It's a fatal brain disease. Oh my God. It appears 7 to 10 years after you get affected by the measles. Causes personality changes, loss of motor function, seizures, and progressive brain failure. You better get vaccinated. All right. Let's help people get rich, Zach.
One call, that's all.
Truth Nation, now is your chance to be entered to win our One Call, That's All $5,000 giveaway for the day. You'll be entered to win $5,000 courtesy of 101.7 The Truth and Gruber Law Offices. Oh, we'll take caller number 7 at 833-212-1017. Caller number 7 at 833-212-1017, and you will be entered to win $5,000 courtesy of Gruber Law Offices and 101.7 The Truth. Again, call number 7 at 833-212-1017. Remember, if you or a loved one has been injured in an accident, contact Gruber Law Offices today. Visit them at gruber-law.com. And for official contest rules, of course, visit 1017thetruth.com. Call number 7 gets entered to win $5,000. I'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Natural gas is a clean, reliable, and convenient source of energy delivered directly to you through underground pipelines. The pipeline system has an excellent safety record, but there are clues that can help you identify a potential hazard. If you smell the strong odor of rotten eggs, hear an unusual hissing sound, or see blowing dirt or debris, it could be a natural gas leak. Leave the area immediately and call We Energies at 800-261-5325.
We Energies. People you can trust. Energy you can depend on. Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Do you hear that? And that? And that? Those are the sounds of a healthy and vibrant community. And to this United Way volunteer, nothing sounds better. They're the sounds of children being given greater chances to succeed in school. The sounds of neighbors receiving the support needed to overcome challenges, both big and small. They're the sounds of families gaining access to quality health care and nutritious food for their tables. And they're the sounds of members of our community who've benefited from United Way's financial education programs. See, wherever there's a need in our communities, there's a United Way. People working together to respond and growing the good for everyone. United is the way. So join us by getting involved or giving back. Learn more at unitedway.org.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other. Leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org, a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hey there. Hey now. Hey.
Hey.
All right now.
Am I number 7?
No. Who in the background barking? Why is somebody barking in the background? You ain't wearing nothing?
That's my dog.
Oh, I thought it was a person. All right. Well, you're not number 7.
Okay. Did you get a winner?
Yes.
Oh, okay. You do? All right. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Well, somebody in the background all up in their business. You did get a winner. The winner's name was who? Rakiki? Rashida? Rahidi. Hey there. Who is this? Who is this?
Hello.
Hey.
Mr. Hayes, how you doing, sir?
Man, I'm doing so good. How are you?
I'm all right.
Okay. Good to know.
I'm calling for the contest. What's happening?
No, you didn't get it. You're not calling number 7.
Damn.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Sound like you over there doing some work, buddy. What you doing? Oh, he hung up.
I'm an Uber driver. I'm putting in work. I need that 5,000.
Oh, you're driving Uber. Do you listen to 1017 The Truth while you're driving around the city?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And tell your passengers they should listen to.
Yes, sir. All the Nipkin poops out here.
It's a lot of them. All right, thank you for your call there. This is fantastic. Hello, 1017 The Truth. Who's this?
Sherwin, how you doing, man? How are you, Sherwin? 10 times. Sherwin, how did that man shoot a man 10 times? I just can't get over it. 10 times. No. Not once or twice.
No. How many times?
10 10 times, man. That just...
How many?
A human being... Sherwin, listen.
What?
If I won that money, I would tell you. I would tell you if I won that money. I would say, oh, thank you, Sherwin. Tell your company. Yeah, I'm not yelling like I ain't never had $5,000 before in my life, Sherwin. Do you understand that, Sherwin? If I won that, I would not yell. You telling me like you ain't never had $5,000. I said, thank you, Sherwin. Tell your company I said, thank you. Talk to you later. That's all I'd say. Talk to you later again.
Wow, he hung up with authority. 1017 The Truth. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Ricky. I'm calling from Milwaukee.
Hey, Ricky from Milwaukee. How are you?
I'm doing all right, Sherwin. I'm doing all right.
Good. What's on your mind, buddy?
I'm just trying to see if I was caller 7.
No, not even close. No, we got caller 7 about 5 minutes ago. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, that's cool, too. I'm still calling in and say what's up.
Well, we appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. I'm just working, that's all.
That sounds like it.
Yeah, this truck is racking, man.
Over there milking cows. What do you do? What kind of work do you do, Ricky?
I work for transit, man. Transit.
All right. Sounds like you're doing some good transit work right now. We'll talk to you later, buddy. Get back to work now.
All right. I'm getting back to work now. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye now. Okay. That didn't sound like transit work. It sounded like he was milking a goat or something. The people that listen to this program are so incredibly fascinated. I think the best Milwaukee has to offer, they all congregate between 9 a.m. and noon around this show, and I could not be more proud. Where else do you hear from Bob and Al? Many different Als. Our Als, we have the largest collection of black Als, I think, on any talk radio show, and just think how unique they are. Every person named Al, because they give me, I have a couple of screens. I've got the phone screen, and I've got another computer screen where they can type in the name of the caller and some notes about what the caller wants to reference. And whenever I see Al, I put my seatbelt on because you never know what you're going to get. One of our Als is a gay Trumper and stands on business. Like, he defends Trump more than anybody I've ever seen. And then, of course, you have the Al, who this weekend I thought I wanted to get a little taste of some stud kuka. And he just talks very openly and very freely, but he's also very intelligent. He's spot on when it comes to the issues. And I think that this show so well represents the diversity of African-American thought in our community. And I appreciate radio because if you're in your vehicle, it's free to listen. And if you are unfamiliar with black people, if you only have that black friend, they are not a representation of all that we are. We are incredibly diverse in what we do, where we go, how we think, how we vote sometimes. And what this program does, I think, better than any other, it showcases this really wide diversity of who African-American people are. And if you listen very closely, we are quite socially conservative. And I think that's where there may be some misunderstanding about our community, because you may see all sorts of bad and violent and illegal behavior that takes place in and around our community. By no means is that the majority. In fact, what you will find is that hardworking, decent, law-abiding black folks that own their homes and vote detest the bad behavior that they see because it makes decent, hardworking, home-owning, voting black folks look bad. And I don't want anyone to think that we as black people are soft on crime. We are not. I also don't want people to think that the 1994 crime bill that did, in fact, incarcerate a whole hell of a lot of black people was just a racist policy that white people came up with. We wanted those people in jail because it was our neighborhoods and our communities and our blocks that were being ravaged by homicides, gun violence, and drug addiction. We wanted that bill. Now, here's the thing when it comes to when black people want mass incarceration. There is always a politician who is willing to oblige us. And I think that we are seeing and experiencing another surge in toughness on crime because now we have this new state law that black alders had been calling for, to where we can now, the police can in this city, confiscate your vehicle if you are driving recklessly. And here's what's going to happen. I can predict this stuff because it's easy, and I've done this kind of work for enough years to know that when a policy is implemented with good intentions, what it ends up being. Follow me closely. We're going to see after about 3 to 5 years of this law being in effect, of the people whose vehicles are getting confiscated for reckless driving, what's going to happen in the year 2030, 2031, there's going to be a study. How effective has the state law been in stopping and curbing reckless driving in the city of Milwaukee? Here's what we're going to find. 90% of the vehicles that will get confiscated and will get towed and will ultimately get sold off to auction will be vehicles owned by black people. And then some liberal progressive peon is going to say, that law was racist. 90% of the people that got their cars towed for reckless driving were black. And to that, I will say, good. Should have slowed your ass down because you could have killed somebody. That's what happens, though. We identify a problem in our community because I don't know if you guys know this. Black folks are really opposed to violence. In fact, where violence may be, you honestly won't find most of us, because if we had that kind of a bloodlust for violence, we'd be driving in caravans in Minneapolis. We don't want nan parts of that. It's not even a lot of black folks that are out there. We ain't messing with ICE like that. We do not have this penchant toward violence that many people think. In fact, we absolutely detest it. If anything, we want to feel safe in our homes and our communities because we may get this feeling of unsafeness from white people and white society and bigots and racists. We also don't want to feel that lack of safety and security from other black people. We want safety and security. If it means that we want a law that has a really harsh penalty on a crime that is being committed in our community where children are being killed and people are being run over and all the property damage, which has led to higher car insurance rates because of all the reckless driving in our community. And if we, the good black folk, the voting black folks, the people that are conscientious and want a better community, if we want a piece of legislation that extinguishes that bad behavior and we come to find out that more black people are getting their cars towed, so be it. Now, one of the reasons why I talk about such legislation is so that people can be aware. That's why I love when Uber drivers have my show playing and people have my program playing in barbershops so you can hear what the consequence is going to be if you drive like a fool in this city. I have an obligation to inform people, but at the same time, I want to extinguish those things that make our communities unsafe. Because I want to be able to walk around. I bought a bike a couple of years ago. I know you can tell with my beautiful physique that I'm a bike rider. Kidding. Rode my bike for maybe one summer because I realized that the city of Milwaukee streets are so dangerous and so wrought with reckless drivers, I can't even ride my bike. I paid $600 for that bike. I got a big, fat, wide seat on it because I don't like riding a bike for a long time and your butt hurts. You got to get a big, cushy seat. I got a cushy seat. I got custom grips. I bought this bike. It was real nice. I bought it at Emery's Cycle, and they fitted me. They're like, oh, Mr. Hughes, sit on the bike. They're like, oh, you could use some better grips. And they put the new grips on. I was like, ooh, I like these grips. And then you need a bigger seat. And I don't got a lot of ass. I don't have a lot of ass, but I got this. I don't.
So you got a custom bike that you never used?
No, it's rusty too. It's so sad. I bought it in 2020 because when everything was shut down, I wasn't going nowhere. I was like, I'm gonna ride my bike. You would think that with less cars on the road, it would be safe to ride your bike. It was not. People were driving even more crazy. Maybe because there were less cars on the road, those people that were driving just had such a reckless disregard for traffic rules. The number of times that I almost got hit riding my bike was frightening. And then I would ride on the sidewalk, and then I almost hit kids.
Oh, that's illegal.
I know it is. So I'm like, what am I going to do? So you guys want to buy my bike? I'll sell it.
You just said it's rusted.
No, I just put a little oil on the chain. I'll sell you my bike. You want my bike? Would you ride it?
What does it look like?
It's nice. It's a Trek. It's a hybrid. A Trek hybrid, like it's not electric, but they call it a hybrid style bike. So it's like a street bike / mountain bike. A Trek. It's very nice, and it was expensive.
Oh, yeah, let me get that.
How much you want to pay for it? Don't be reasonable. I'll get it all fixed up for you. The tires are flat, too, because it's been sitting for about 4 years.
But you just said you're going to get it fixed up.
How much you offering first? $600? Sold. Sold to the man in the producer studio with the glasses on.
No, $6.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Damn! In 1987, the Bucks took on the world and changed basketball forever.
At stake, basketball supremacy in the United States.
Bucks versus the World, narrated by Charlie Behrens, is the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. It's the untold story of the 1987 McDonald's Open, when the Bucks became the first NBA team to face the Soviet Union. Listen now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
New year, new savings for property owners. Odom Investments and Property Management is kicking off the new year with a special offer you don't want to miss. Half off your first month property management fees. Whether you own one property or a full portfolio, let our experienced team take the stress out of managing your investment. Start the year strong and save money today. Call 855-ODOM-WAY or visit odomhomes.com. That's odomhomes.com.
In a matchup fueled by speed, strength, and school pride. On Wednesday night, get ready for a city conference battle as the Bradley Tech Trojans take on the South Division Cardinals in a matchup fueled by speed, strength, and school pride. Big plays, loud crowds, and city conference bragging rights are on the line. Tip-off is set for 7 o'clock.
Hey there, Jane Lynch here. You want to hear something funny? Too bad. You want to hear something uplifting that will inspire you? Good. Because today, I want to talk to you about Direct Relief, a humanitarian organization that does seriously good work when it counts. Fires, hurricanes, earthquakes. When disaster strikes, Direct Relief immediately shows up with medicines, medical supplies, and everything doctors and nurses need to save lives. Let's ship her out! Every day across the United States and around the world, they're making an enormous difference. If someone needs help, Direct Relief helps. No politics, no red tape. Hey, what you doing over there?
Oh, I'm packing insulin for kids with diabetes.
See, every box here is literally a lifeline for someone in critical need. So check them out at directrelief.org and donate if you can. You might just bring a smile to someone's face.
Prizes, exclusive experiences, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting truthcontests.com. That's truthcontests.com.
Happy kids heal faster, and that's why Starlight is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids across the U.S. Learn how at starlight.org.
Proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all.
It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
My statement that I'm about to make is not subject for debate. The disco era, best era for black music ever. Better than any 90s R&B, better than any early 2000s hip hop, better. It is, period. Come on, you guys. I was born 20 years too late. If I was born in 1955, the nightlife was so much better. I would have been a staple at Studio 54 in New York. Some of you don't know about Studio 54. It was the absolute pinnacle of American dance culture and nightlife. There has not been culture, music, culture, style, and fashion like that real specific era in the 1970s. I'm just fascinated by it. I don't know what it is, but there's something about that era of disco music and the black artists that were platformed. Like disco is our music. Now the whites stole it, and then the Bee Gees came along, and then you had another group called the Silver Connection. I really like this song. It only has like 3 words in the lyrics, but I could listen to the extended version forever and ever and ever. It's called Fly, Robin, Fly. Oh, it's a classic. But then there is what is that Donna Summer song called? The extended version of that song. Because back in the day, they didn't mix music, and so songs were just really, really long. And they would just play the next song when one song ended. But there's a Donna Summer song where she's literally having a 5-minute orgasm in the song, and it's a real orgasm. And it just works very well with... What is the name of that song? Some of y'all probably already know the name of it. Love to Love You. Oh, my God, it's so good. And plus, that era was just sexy. The women were sexy. The men dressed kind of weird, but that's fine. That's okay. But it was just such an incredible era. And so, on this show, I feature music. I love music so very much because music sets the mood. It sets the tone. There are certain songs that can transport us back to where we were when we first heard it. I know that there's some songs that when you hear it, you're reminded of your first love. But disco has to be my single favorite era and or genre of music because the culture very much matched the music. If I say that about hip-hop as an example right now, I don't know if I want our culture, so not just youth black culture, just black culture in general, matching whatever this current era of hip-hop is.
But it does.
It seems like it's kind of stratified, Zach, because I am the same age, essentially, as the art form of hip-hop, and I've seen the evolution of the genre, and I think what it is right now is it's hard to relate as an early adopter of the music. It's hard to relate. And you know that I have my differences with, the new era of hip-hop music, especially the Milwaukee style music and dancing. And I feel bad for Steve the Stoner because he just was recently dragged, or maybe I'm behind on that, but I saw a bunch of social media postings where people were going after him and the way he dances. And then there were some accusations that he was not exactly a straight man. I kind of felt bad for him, but also that style of dancing, men shouldn't be dropping it low and having knees like Megan, Zach. I just don't think that they should. This is me. I'm old though. You have to give me some grace and cut me some slack. Because
but if you were making money, would you?
No. What you will find, and what a lot of young people will find, is that sometimes the money that you make doesn't matter if the endeavor is not fulfilling. You can't, there was a period of time in my life where I would do things and take jobs and take career paths just for the money. I hated it, and the paycheck didn't make up for it. Because while you are there doing whatever labor you're doing, you can't sit here and say, oh, boy, I hate this job, but my paycheck is going to be fat. No, you're miserable. So all money ain't good money.
But if you're having a good time and making good money or great money on top of that, then what's the issue?
And I don't fault people that enjoy what they do, but also I don't have to like it. That's one of the great things and great freedoms that we have in America. It's like I'll say, oh, if you like it, I love it. Absolutely, but I don't have to enjoy or engage because I've tried and I just can't. Because I know how sophisticated hip-hop used to be. It was this incredible art form of storytelling. It was almost like the nightly news of what was going on in our culture and in our community at every era that black people, especially black men, were going through. And there's been some prolific African-American women that have been some great MCs as well. But now the unfortunate thing is that you had Boss, and you had MC Light, and you had Queen Latifah, and you had all these other prolific female MCs that talked about like real issues in our community. Now black women rappers are hoes. That's what they're selling. Talking about their WAP. I don't want to know about your WAP. I mean, I kind of do, but it shouldn't be as popular as it is, right? There was a movement of empowerment back when we were wearing high top fades and Africa medallions and listening to X-Clan. There was empowering black music. Those were real poets. Nas is a poet. Like, he needs to be in the Smithsonian. Tupac was a poet. Notorious B.I.G., they were poets. Now they also had violence in their music. But I always say, if you don't like what people are rapping about, then change the conditions and the music will follow. I still like disco, though. I'd wear some bell bottoms and a leisure suit with a big old collar and a hat, driving a 1976 Cadillac Eldorado. I can just see myself in that scene ever so perfectly. Unfortunately, Sherwin was born about 20 years too late. What do we learn today? There's a measles outbreak in Waukesha, and Joe Barada's properties, some of them don't have any heat. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.
He's the voice for the people and the community's connection to change.
Regroup, rethink, and reshape, and get on the front lines. It's only to your benefit. I always tell people, you helping the overall ideal of a better community, it actually helps you out. It helps you out. It helps your family out. It's time. Do not bring that reactionary attitude into the new year. This is the best time to start fresh. This is the plot. They plot this out, and it's been going on for years. This is normal. This is the way it is. This is where we are right now. It's all buddy-buddy. And if you're not a part of the friend situation, you're not getting in. They don't want nobody getting in and seeing where the messy. That's why I'll never get in. Because they know I'm not going to play around about my community. They know I'm not going to sit in no meetings and see y'all shucking and jiving and sniggling and giggling and not say nothing about it. I'm going to tell you to shut up.
The Tory Lowe Show, weekdays from 1 to 4 p.m. Live on YouTube and right here on 101.7 The Truth.
Dad's going to be far side, good.
What should I do with my dress?
Do little wiggles. The slate's coming in. What does it feel like when you're down or having a bad day?
It feels sad, like you just don't want to do anything.
All my little emotions in my head is just running crazy. I don't know what to do.
As a teacher or coach, do you ever feel overwhelmed supporting kids' mental health?
I had never experienced players being so down.